Oh my gosh, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to post-episode issues. The Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 8, Hardhome. Oh god, and what the fuck did we just watch? We watched the crazy end of this episode. It drove me nuts, but guys, before we go any further, unfortunately tonight the crow could not be with us. It's out on a mission. As we know, all crows must die. We'll be back in that form again, but our warg was able to warg into someone else with the help of a very friendly person. Nixt 100 was able to train Katie enough to become the wolf. So now we have Katie Wolf with us tonight for this amazing episode of Game of Thrones with us with Joe.
Yeah, unfortunately, Katie Crow had to take at least a week off. She had lost a lot of people this week with the release of the Game of Thrones. She lost a lot of family members in the release of the Game of Thrones Telltale episode.
Yeah.
Very sad moment in that episode. Oh, I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't played yet.
Yes,
but there was a sad moment for Katie's relatives. So she's in mourning and hasn't left the rookery here at, my little castle.
So everybody, we like to say a big thanks to Nixt 100 for in reality for sending us the wolf. We're so blessed. Thank you so fucking much for sending us that. We appreciate it so much. So anyways, as we go into this episode, what a fucking episode. I don't even know where to start here, Joe. There was so much crazy shit. Tyrion telling Dany how it is. Dany telling Tyrion how it was.
I don't know if Dany did any telling of anything really for sure.
Stole that scene.
She certainly did a lot of listening. And I was impressed with how she handled herself ultimately.
Me too, with Tyrion. I think they wrote her well in those scenes to match up with Tyrion on some sort of level with bringing fact to fact. And Tyrion gained begrudging respect for her after a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I feel like this whole episode could have just been that in what happened in Hardhome. Like everything else to me was great stuff. I love seeing Cersei lick water off the floor and I'll go through all of that. But it's the big points that have me crazy and I'm like, and I have to say the Sansa and Reek scene gave me tear. That's gonna get forgotten about in the scene. The fact that Sansa now actually knows that Rickon and Brent, the show knows Rickon's alive. They mentioned him tonight.
That really, I didn't think about that moment until just now. I may have seen someone flash that real quick in the chat too, but you know what? It is kind of lost.
Yeah,
Thinking about it now, I remember it giving me a feeling of hope for Sansa and relief and things like this. But
moving into what happens later in the episode. What?
Holy
and
shit.
I have a question. What's that the
question?
only giant left?
Yeah, I thought there was more than just the one giant left. I knew his family was kind of like the chieftain got killed and maybe his son, but I figured there was at least more than 3 giants.
Oh, and one other thing I want to mention as I see it pass by in the chat room right now. Our own Eric Nolan, who is in the chat right now, was in this episode. He was, I believe, one of the wildlings at Hardhome. So fucking awesome, Eric, dude.
Very
welcome,
sweet.
Wildling.
Yeah.
We have a fucking wildling in here. We have the free folks in here. Shit. Oh God. Hey Dragon, what's up? What an episode. Where is Rickon? We have the chat rooms already going crazy, and we want to thank everybody for all the shares and all the likes and everything that you guys did over this week to help get our video to really awesome numbers this week. So thank you so much, everybody, for all the hard work you guys did. And if this is your first time checking out this video, we like to do recaps of Game of Thrones right after the episode, give our immediate thoughts of what the fuck just happened. Like tonight, that was just crazy. As someone said in the chat that passed by, I think it was Auto Matrix. I don't want to hear shit from the book people about what a spoiler is.
Oh my goodness, no.
Yep, that is
past that.
Eventually you knew that this was coming as reading the book, so it's not really a spoiler. You could kind of feel this coming. They've been talking about it even throughout the whole show. So it's not a spoiler. You knew that there was going to be the long night eventually, and there is a starting point and there's a build up to it and all this bullshit. So
Eric says you can watch him You can watch him in the scene right before the Lord of the Bones gets whacked. And Farcloud has an interesting drinking game that every time I duck out a shot for some reason, you have to take a shot.
I like that game. I like that game.
So
I'm back in the mix. I found another
nice
local.
Joe, me too, my friend, me too.
I'm gonna be popping some right now. One for me and one for Katie.
Uh-huh.
And I got a spare in case. Hopefully we don't get there.
And also, before we go any further, let's also mention the fact of the whole thing with Stannis and Ramsay. We have Ramsay. Someone in the chat just mentioned this. Ramsay's coming with 20 men and charging to try to take out Stannis. That's going to end in Ramsay's death. Is anyone doubting Ramsay's dying from this? He's not killing shit.
Yeah, no, I hope he dies. I don't see what him and 20 men are going to do. That's like Bronze Line. Give me 20 good men and some climbing shoes, and I'll impregnate the bitch.
But I believe Bronn.
Me too. Like, yeah, I believe maybe Ramsay will get there and like flay a guy or two, but like stab a guy or like I don't have much faith in his mission.
Yeah, I was confused by that. Is he some sort of elite warrior assassin?
I think we were supposed to kind of get that gist when he was fighting
the Greyjoys,
Theon's sister, the Greyjoys, in the kennel.
Yeah, like he's a
running around with his shirt off, stabbing.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm a ninja.
What was that?
But combat too. I mean, yeah, he's all fun and pretty and stuff, but 20 men. And
yeah, I'm with you, Katie. I think this is a death mission right here. I think Roose is like, okay, get out of my way. Fine, you want to go down, get your ass killed by Stannis.
Sorry for a bump.
Was that a cough? Did you just cough? Holy shit!
Sorry.
Whoa, Nymeria Snow over there coughed up a furball. Shit. So
there you go. Let me get that for you.
So the episode opens up and we open up in a great hall of Meereen, a close-up of Tyrion and Jorah waiting, which seems like they've been waiting a while for Daenerys to say anything. She's presiding over them, making sure she has the higher ground as we basically hear crickets in the background. We hear the two of them just...
Suffer, Jorah, suffer.
Yeah, poor Jorah. He's just Lord, as many people say, Lord Friendzone. Poor Jorah. It makes me say this.
Oh,
good lord.
Lord Exiled Zone. Lord Stone Man Zone.
I love that lady.
Yeah.
Good lord. Good lord.
So,
yeah.
So Daenerys So Daenerys is presiding over Tyrion and Jorah as we hear crickets. Jorah says, I want to say something. And she goes, I don't want to hear something. Keep your fucking mouth shut. And Missandei's in there as well. And she basically tells him, you're best to keep your mouth shut. And then she goes to Tyrion, how do I know who you are, who you say you are? And he goes, if I could be anybody else, I wouldn't be me. She says, why?
I love this.
And this starts, I found really fun. And I gotta say right away, I enjoyed Daenerys' scenes with Tyrion more than I've enjoyed Daenerys' scenes since with Drogo back in season 1.
It's Dinklage's gift. He brings the best out of whoever he's interacting with.
I'm repeating something I said, but it's you just sprinkle a little Tyrion here, sprinkle a little Tyrion everywhere, and it feels really good. And I just love the immediate balance that they set up between the Lannisters, just the whole Lannister thing right there. Why don't I kill you for the revenge of what the Lannisters did to my family? He says, oh, you want revenge against the Lannisters? I killed Joanna Lannister the day my mother, the day I was born. I killed my dad with a bow to the heart. I'm the greatest Lannister killer the world's ever known.
I gotcha, Queenie.
Tyrion.
Way ahead of you.
Nazir says, you guys think that Ramsay's plan will work out. He's too good of a villain to die, in my opinion. I think...
Yeah, I'm figuring that too, but I'd love to see it.
Do you think that Brienne has to play some part in this? Is she going to be involved in this? Is she going to see Ramsay leave and follow him maybe because she hasn't seen the light go on? She going to do something proactive maybe?
I think she will end up doing something. She is antsy.
They're pitching it. You know, they show her standing on the cliff looking down at the place. You know, last episode. we didn't see much from her, anything from her this week, I don't think. Unless
she may try to get more informants because old lady's dead.
Rachel61 says, "Amen, Phil. This is the most I've enjoyed Dany in a scene." Yeah, her two scenes with Tyrion were great. I can't wait to see Tyrion interacting with the dragons or giving her dragon advice, which should be next.
Oh yeah.
And Rock Biologist says, "Thumbs up on Missandei's costume. Thumbs up on pretty much everything Missandei." I can't lie, I'm a fan. Scout Dakota, Dany was fun to watch tonight. Ren, why Ren? Bill says, "Do you think Brienne stops Ramsay from killing Stannis?" Like I was just saying, I think Brienne has to play a part in what's going to be happening in this situation with Stannis and Ramsay. It doesn't make sense for her to even be there if she's not going to play some sort of part in it.
She's going to be one of our heroes that's just has a heroic end, I think. I think she will somehow fulfill her destiny of saving Sansa by killing Ramsay.
Killing Ramsay, maybe.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
It would be.
I think I want Reek and/or Theon to kill Ramsay.
I want Reek and/or Theon to die.
Yeah.
If it's by Ramsay's hands or anybody else's.
I want him to do something good and honorable before he dies.
Scout says, "I need Ramsay's death to be slow." Katie, on that, I have to feel that all the shit I've been giving Theon Reek, I gotta give him a little bit of fucking ball credit tonight for finally stepping up. And I mean, we'll talk about it more when we get there, but finally stepping up and at least telling the truth to Sansa, to give her that ray of hope, that moment of her realizing that she isn't the last in her family because she doesn't give a shit about Jon Snow.
Oh yeah,
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe she does, but
I don't know. We were talking about that also. Like how much we never heard her mention him. Like she was totally shocked to hear his name from Ramsay last week. I don't think he
ever even occurred to her at all.
Right. She's her mother's daughter. She's always been like, yeah, you don't count. You're not a Stark. You're a Snow. Yeah, she was always a snotty little brat.
He was no better than Theon to her.
Even
less than Theon.
She lied to about Joffrey and Arya, got her dog killed. Yeah, she's always been self-serving. She's always wanted to be, all she wanted was to marry Joffrey. Remember, like, doesn't care who he is.
A princess
she wanted to be queen,
mind.
Princess in her own mind. She never thought about Jon. Jon was, the stain on the family to her.
Yeah,
I think.
Heading back to
outwardly, she didn't actually show that, but I just think that's.
I don't think she felt anything for Jon.
I
agree. Just that guy.
I tend to agree with you guys. Heading back to the Tyrion stuff, Stacey E says, "I did like the Tyrion Dany scene. I'm always surprised when a Dany dialogue doesn't end in disappointment." And Bill says, "My thumbs weren't the only thing that was up with Missandei tonight." Oh gosh, I can't deny. Okay, so he basically says the best way to getting back into Marine with Tyrion standing at the foot of Daenerys, saying, "If you want to get revenge on the Lannisters, I'm your best option." She says, "Why should I welcome you into your service? Because you kill your own family." She said, why should that be a reason I take you into your service?
Tyrion says, my family.
And then I love how Tyrion turns this around. Tyrion says, "In your service." Whoa, wait.
Perfect, exactly. And I've been kind of waiting for other people to really say this, like you call yourself a queen and you've done some things and you've killed some people, but you're asking me to bend a knee now. Why?
We're interviewing each other.
Exactly. There's more going on. And I guess there is a point where if you're the queen, and fuck that, fuck everybody else who doesn't bend the knee.
Doesn't mean I want to work for you.
Right, exactly. Doesn't mean, hey, I'll just pack my shit and leave, no harm, no foul.
Yeah,
babe.
If I'm going to help you become the queen of Westeros,
if I'm going to help you at all,
that's a whole different story.
Kill me if you want. You're the queen, but
Plus,
what kind of queen are you if you just kill me because I won't help you?
I know you need me to take Westeros.
Again, plus I this is weird, but I have to give Daenerys a little bit more credit in this situation.
Daenerys show her titties. I don't care.
No.
She had the proverbial titties out. Yes.
And she was getting wet from that 2 weeks ago.
And I think what I think is that Tyrion. I think she appreciated, and I like how Daenerys appreciated the fact that Tyrion wasn't being a sycophant and just telling her what she wants to hear, like some of the people that try to counsel her do.
Yes,
he's completely
exactly.
irreverent, and he's honest,
And he's not
and
engaged
he's
with
smart.
and he's not engaged with his own personal gain for sexual pleasure like Dario is. So she probably takes what he says with a grain of salt because she knows he's a criminal when it comes down to it, and the guy that cut the heads off his partners to serve her. So this is an interesting person, someone that she thinks is an enemy that's being bluntly honest with her at every point, and she's dealing with it in a very good way, dare I say.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
So
and she's listening.
Yeah.
She's really listening.
Actually fucking listening.
She's already being advised by Tyrion, and whether she knows it or not, and that's one of Tyrion's gifts, like his silver tongue, and he's pointing her in the right direction, not only for himself, selfishly, but for Jorah eventually, and for Dany.
Yeah.
And he's doing it, and I think he knows he's doing it. I think he knows that this is a very young girl, a leader. He recognizes immediately you have nobody by your side. Like there's nobody that's talking to you. She's listening
no one
to
that
him.
will actually help her rule.
Right.
Or-
She is already
Yeah.
taking the advice, and she's already being advised.
Bring in the wolves.
yeah, Wolf. Sorry, Kate, that was for you. So Tyrion says he turns it around, gives her says, "I'm just in your I'm not in your service yet. Let's not rush the relationship. I don't know if you deserve my help." She says, "If you'd rather return to the fighting pits, then fucking go there."
Oh, what?
Slave?
What? Like a slave? Is that what you're saying? Like I was a slave before, so I'm a slave?
So what
You're
you say?
having slaves fighting you realize I was there as a slave, Queen Dany.
Yeah,
This is still
Jorah
slave
took me
trade.
captive,
Wait, why
and
hasn't
then
he fucking
those
said
people
that?
took me captive.
The fuck? Yeah. That should have been the first thing out of his mouth. You know, I was taken as a prisoner, and then we were both bought, stolen, and then sold into slavery to fight into these fucking pits. What the fuck, Danny? You want me to go back? You're selling me back into slavery? Only this time it's a punishment? Yeah, I think we're gonna have problems if you're the fucking queen of freed slaves. What the
Dragon
fuck?
says Tyrion will tell Dario to suck his cock. Peter Live Music says, "What if the cock merchant shows up in Marine and makes Dany an offer?"
Oh,
Stacey says, "I think it was wise for Tyrion not to mention that cock merchant." Bruce says, "Dragons aren't coming." Bill says, "But I'm like John. I like redheads." Last King, April. Oh, April Fools. April, you're right about something about in the chat room. Collective Mayhem says, "I guess he's still alive because of Tyrion." Yeah, someone asked, "How is Tyrion helping Jorah in the scene?" I think he saved Jorah's life. I think
He
Daenerys
does. But do you
Daenerys
think he
was
could have done
this
more?
close to going Mad Queen on him. It was
Do you
this.
think he could have done more?
no.
No,
Like maybe knock up him exiled, or maybe
No.
like
Tyrion.
exiled
No,
with provisions.
No,
or...
Tyrion knows how to read a room, and Tyrion knew that he could only push that a limit. He can only get Jorah's life spared, and that's
Yeah, he's also not just trying to get Jorah's life spared, but basically go from being a sold fucking slave, getting ready to die for his cock getting cut off, or just as like laughs in the ring, to being hand of the queen.
Hand of the queen. Yeah, he's the queen's hand. Oh yeah, she's gonna do lots
Who
of things.
doesn't want to be that hand? Come on. You know?
Not to mention, I've mentioned this a lot, that Peter Dinklage just alone. If Peter Dinklage wants your girl, Peter Dinklage is getting your girl. He's like the most charming fucker on the face.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he
Tyrion,
is.
Nip tuck that doctor's wife.
He's gonna take your girl. Tyrion,
Yep.
you don't want Peter Dinklage wanting your girl.
Do not.
It's
He's
done.
a charming motherfucker.
He's just like, hey,
Okay.
princess.
And that's like, for as far as it goes, like character description in my mind, it's a much uglier dwarf that is the character of Tyrion. Like, and he gets uglier along the journey. Not so much for Peter Dinklage. He's still a very charismatic, handsome man. So
Oh gosh. So we had he tells a story about a baby being born in the worst storm born of living memory. She had no wealth, no army, nothing, just her name. Just around, there were people that kept her alive to further their own cause. Then they moved her just ahead of the people that wanted to kill her, as they focus on Jorah for a second, just so she kind of sneers at him. And then she was eventually sold to a warlord at the end of the world, and that appeared to be it. But the most well-informed person I ever met told me about this girl, and said she got all of those things. and she had dragons, and she was the best last hope for a better world. And Dany looks moved, like, who the fuck told you all this? Who's talking about me? Who's saying such nice things about me? I'm burning people alive and getting wet about it.
I love that who it is that said these things to him. That like this very nice story is someone that she's always thought of as basically the enemy, period.
Yeah. And no one's ever really cared about her story before.
No one's actually ever talked to her quite the way that Tyrion's talking to her. Gwen Ain says, but some theories suggest that they'll actually siblings. So will they bang? Will they bang? I don't know. I'm not sure if Tyrion's going to go there. I think Tyrion's not going to shit where he eats there.
My own personal theory, if isn't that they're siblings, but maybe something close.
That there's something going on there, but let's.
No siblings.
Let's see. Benjamin says, "Wow, Cersei reminded me of Ned Stark in that cell. Some Stark karma for her fucking ass." Yes.
Oh yeah. Far too.
There's Stark karma. There's so much karma owed to this fucking bitch that cell
Cersei
is
karma.
nothing. Mm-hmm. What I hope has coming for her is there's.
We'll get to her. We'll get to her. And you guys, again, in the chat room are fucking killing it. If anyone who's listening to the audio recordings of this, a couple people sent me messages asking. The chat room is live on the YouTube video. If you go to the actual YouTube page that has the chat, and on the video itself, it'll appear in the side window. Sometimes you have to update your browser and do shit like that. We've heard for people that can't chat room. I'm working on eventually going to get a separate chat room and chat wing for the people that can't chat in the main chat room. So we'll figure out a solution to the people that are having trouble getting in. But for the people that are there, you guys are fucking awesome. And it's because of you that our videos are getting to more people. So again, down on my hands and knees saying thanks again. Anyway, so keep fucking going. Let's keep going with this shit. So she looks moved and she says, then it's good to meet you. How can you help me? How could you help me? And he says, listen, you have no one else on your side, no one that understands the land you want to rule. You don't understand the strengths and the weaknesses of the house.
I gotta say that I wish Tyrion had read a little further into it. It's not just Westeros now at this point. She kind of says that. It's not just Westeros at this point that she wants to rule. It's going to be the whole world, the whole known world.
The whole known
basically everything that you see on this map behind me, all the way up to, Karth and up there or whatever. She wants it all. It's all going to be hers. It's all going to be under her rule. There is no doubt.
But
and
Joe,
Tyrion needs to recognize that it's not just Westeros. It's all of it that she needs to rule.
The question I have to ask, though, is does Daenerys realize that
winter is coming? We know this.
Does she realize that winter is coming? Does she?
I don't think she even has the slightest recollection of that at the moment. She's so focused on her goal, and you know what? The dragons are going to be quite the
wild card
in this whole winter is coming fucking bullshit. Yep. If she can ever get her ass to fucking Westeros. Oh my God.
That's the thing, the value that Tyrion has. He can teach her how to rule in general. He can help her where she is now. But ultimately, his value is in Westeros. And helping her infiltrate and get in there, know the families, know what to expect.
Scratch that wolf.
She's going to be the Westeros expert, and that's kind of what he says too. Absolutely, that's a big part of what he's going to offer her. But still, he needs to recognize further that of the bigger game in her mind too.
Well, that's because
he'll be able to help for that. Also,
she needs to play the politics where she is, or she's going to lose everything she's achieved when she goes to Westeros.
Right.
He said that her rule has to matter where she is before she can move on to rule somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm just glad Tyrion's there. I hope she gets her ass to Westeros, because if anybody out there thinks that this has gone on fucking long enough with her putzing her ass around over on this fucking side of the world, it's like there's a whole other fucking city and there's all sorts of other shit in the book. It's much fucking longer and drawn out than it is in this series somehow. Even though as long as this fucking seems for her here too, and for a lot of people.
Yeah. Well,
this stuff is awesome. I'm psyched.
I noticed that Tyrion talked to her about politics.
Yeah, he mentioned the
and
word
she
finally.
didn't correct him.
Nope.
She didn't say, I'm not a politician, I'm a queen. She kind of accepted that.
I
I think with
politics
her
is part of
marriage,
it.
she finally
Absolutely,
like
I agree.
realized that there's a
That's
political
exactly what I was
part.
going to say.
Yeah.
She's starting to play the game a little bit. I love how Tyrion eventually calls her out on this. She says, I have an army. I'll make the people, I don't need to know strengths and weaknesses of the houses.
Yeah.
And Tyrion's like, listen, when I was the hand of the king, you can't just kill people like that. When I was the hand of the king, I settled problems without violence. And listen, I had Joffrey to deal with. And that, considering the king, that's a lot to do. And he'd rather torture animals than feed his people. I could do a better job for you if you were the ruler worth your name.
Yeah.
So
I would have loved to get a chunk of Joffrey.
Didn't one of your relatives get a chunk of them?
Didn't yours,
Weren't you there? Can't you talk to him and see what that's like?
your cousin Nymeria there?
Yeah.
So she asked
You'll be as
us,
big and strong as her one day. Yes, you will.
so Tyrion asks, or she asks, so do you want to advise me? He nods, and then she goes, okay, you want to advise me? What do I do with this guy? Pointing to Jorah.
Oh, I love it.
He swore an oath.
Instant test.
Yep.
So I swore an oath that if I ever saw him again, I would kill this guy. And what kind of queen can't keep her word? So Tyrion goes on. He goes, I know. And whoever Jorah was when he was informing on you, he's not the man anymore. I can't even remember seeing any man that has more honor for a single cause than fighting for you. He would fight and die for you. He was even in a brothel looking at a prostitute version of you, and he wouldn't even touch her.
He had her dye her hair just to look like you.
He's the one that got that to happen. He's like, why don't you have a Danny look-alike? Give me more Dannies. I want my Danny back. Fucking crying in his beer when they finally give it to him. What's he do? He fucking kidnaps a blonde dwarf and makes off with him.
Nothing compares to the real thing.
Someone in the chat said, we got a little bit of book Danny tonight with the whole wheel speech and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Who wasn't expecting that wheel speech? I think that was in a promo somewhere along the line.
It was one of the first things we saw about Daenerys in the year. Sorry, everybody, cat issues. It was one of the first things we saw with Daenerys this year.
Yeah.
I believe it was that speech. Just interesting that it ended up being with Tyrion.
Yeah, can I say this too? That thank God this episode was actually almost like a full hour. It was like 16 fucking minutes.
It seemed really long. It seemed really full with shit.
Cut it by like 8, 9, 10 minutes like they do sometimes.
It was a full episode.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
We haven't got to it, but I'm going to wait to talk about the one thing we haven't talked about too, which was a fucking another incredible part of this episode. A little girl named Arya and getting to see a lot more of Bravo.
Oh no, there was no girl named Arya. I forget what her name is.
I have
girl named
I have it written down.
Lana,
I believe. Okay, so let's get through this part. And Tyrion says, Yet he betrayed you, and Tyrion starts to walk around towards her, and he goes, listen, has he had an opportunity to confess? Dany says yes, but he never did until he was forced to. Tyrion looks back at him like, you dumbass.
Yep, you stupid fuck.
But I just want to say, Joe made the observation. He keeps taking a couple of steps towards her as they talk. It's very subtle body language. Very similar to how you deal with a dog you're trying to make friends with.
Yeah, he's inching forward. He starts out when he starts talking to her, like after like 2 or 3 words or the first sentence, he takes 2 steps forward, stops,
slow and careful,
and then he starts talking again. He takes a couple more steps forward, and the guards all put out their spears, and he stops, and she gives them like it's okay, he can kind of approach, and Tyrion does a little bit more in a moment, and he eventually like kind of stops on the stairs with her. In what he's like, all right, so I'm advising you, I shouldn't be standing next to the fucking prisoner that you want to execute. If I'm going to represent him in some way, I also need to separate myself from him. Tyrion is fucking super smart in this. Like,
brilliant.
It's brilliant. I cannot, I didn't have a chance to watch it again yet. I cannot wait to watch it again. If I wasn't doing the show, I'd already be watching. I'd have fast forwarded to that scene or started it at that chapter. Old saying.
And he knows that after all of this, he's very, very close to wine. He's very close to some wine.
He can't wait for that fucking fermented grape.
So quickly as Tyrion's going through it, he worships you. I think he's in love with you, but he did not trust you. and you can't forgive him. So she goes, so I should kill him, right? I should kill him. And Tyrion goes, listen, if someone devoted to you, you don't kill them. And you men devoted to you to conquer Westeros. But you can't have him by your side when you do, because you won't look good. So she goes, okay, fine. I'll remove him from the city. And she looks kind of teary-eyed, and there's some sad music as he's marched out of the city. Yeah. And Dany in a sad gulp as we see Jorah being brought out. And thank you to the chat room. Yet her name was Lana. And being brought out to the past the city walk, and he's being cast out as he looks down at his grayscale, and he looks back and he sadly walks away. Oh, poor. Yeah.
Like, what's he want to do? Like, and then he's got grayscale.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm wondering.
He needs to start thinking about that.
Like, he's endangering everyone in that room, including Daenerys, because he has grayscale. Yep. What if she decided to forgive him and run over and hug him? Done.
Kiss him. Give Stone like, oh, Queen. I don't just love you. Like, he couldn't even come out and be like, yo, I kind of used to spy on you back before I really knew you, back before you blossomed. But now I'm all yours.
Tyrion Lannister, half-wit, dwarf. And in this corner you have the brainless queen mother of dragons.
Who in this battle says that was the...
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, our wolf friend. So let's get to this next scene, and we can see the silent sister ass kicker giving Cersei some playing some
silent.
Nope.
She
can't wait.
I thought they were talking last week too.
That's our word.
Thank you, Katie Wolf. Jorah equals self-bastard. Jonathan says, Katie, I love the wolf. Last King says, or what did Otto say above here? So we go, did I hear dragons screech when Jorah left the room and they showed him standing there? It was a pretty sad moment there. Bill says,
yeah, his face told a lot of stories when that whole conversation was going on.
Hers did too.
Watching his face in the background, it was touching.
It was touching.
Too, yes.
They
do a good job with the face. Yeah. They all gave good things.
It seemed like she wanted to forgive him.
Yeah, she's torn. Because she loves him too. They had a bond. And yeah, she loves him. He loves her, but she feels very betrayed.
Yep.
So yeah, she wants to kill him.
That's why
and
she's
she
so
wants
pissed
to
at
kiss
him.
him.
Yep.
Aww.
Oh, it's sad. Aww. It's sad. Rock Biologist says Jorah is quintessential nice guy who isn't really a nice guy, hence the friend zone. Bill says Jorah is an idiot if he thinks killing people in the pits will win Dany over. I agree with that, Bill. Jorah is a fucking idiot if he thinks this is gonna work. Like, I'm gonna fight in front of her. She's gonna like me.
What the hell was he thinking? Like, yeah, you're hoping beyond hope, but dude, get reality check. She's not gonna welcome you in with open arms and say, come sit next to me and be my best advisor again.
Right?
I trust you completely.
Tyrion was absolutely right. That's why, like, everything he said in that boat to Jorah was basically, like, absolutely true.
Seriously.
Like, and only it was
man,
best case
he does
scenario.
some stupid shit.
That was best case scenario for in Tyrion's thing. Like, what makes you think she won't, like, welcome me in and still cut your fucking head off?
Yep.
You know? And what did Jorah do? Jorah punched him in the fucking face. And what did Tyrion do? Tyrion said,
his life.
I am going to save your life.
Yeah, because without Tyrion, she would have kept her promise.
Absolutely.
What is a queen who doesn't keep her promises?
A couple of good points here. Stacey E says, Jorah has nothing to live for. His grayscale, you at least have to give it to him. He's giving himself a purpose. Scout says, how come Jorah hasn't infected anyone yet? Oh, yeah, main character powers.
Maybe they can't infect until they're fully infected.
Well, like, just... do you have to touch that spot?
Yes, you have to touch that spot.
And what if you touch it through clothing? Is it seepy?
I think
maybe if it's seeped enough. Maybe if it's got enough like flakes of stone in it or something.
I'm curious. I want doctor's opinion.
Yeah.
Where
are the Meisters?
Yeah, I need my advice.
We need to go to Old Town and hear about it. Stacey says, guys,
send a crow, but they're kind of all
busy or dead.
So sad.
Stacey says, guys, totally disagree. She needs a reason to go back on her word, and Jorah wants to prove he will die for Dany. I don't think he's stupid. He's a man with conviction.
No, he's not
Good
stupid.
Point. I don't think
he
is either.
Makes stupid decisions.
I think so
he
too.
Does stupid things, and they end badly for him.
Speaking,
Yes.
Katie, that's a perfect transition. Speaking of stupid people that do stupid things, let's get to Cersei. So we get to the Silent Sister kicking Cersei and playing the water game. Confess if you want some water. She says, "I want to see my son." And the speaking sister throws the water down and slaps her and goes. And Cersei says again with this is the last time you'll see my face, the last thing you'll see. And she goes, "Okay, fuck, it's not gonna work. You're not drinking water today." And she walks out as Cersei starts crying and screaming.
Dehydrate, bitch.
She pours it on the ground. She was pouring out ladles on the ground in front of her then too, wasn't she? Or just
so
hitting her
much
with the, she was hitting her with the fucking
water.
spoon.
She was wasting precious water,
Yeah, she
which was upsetting. You can just take it out of the room, but save it. Come on.
So, Azrith Game says, just rewatch that part for sure. We hear a screech after Jorah stands. The dragon around. What will it do? Very interesting.
Maybe they're just still in the.
You can hear the caged dragons in the dungeon in the basement
you're
crying
gonna
for their mother.
You're gonna make the direwolf mad, man. So don't do it. The direwolf's getting mad. Direwolf, don't do it. Don't growl on us, direwolf. Don't do it, direwolf. Calm down. Okay. Good girl. Good girl. That's a good.
I don't want to lose my throat, Phil. Don't get her mad. Don't start talking about him. We didn't see him. It's okay.
Okay. We're calm. Everyone's calm. Let's talk about
We
Arya.
have to see him every episode. We got a lot of dragon in the Game of Thrones game this week when that drops.
Should we talk about Arya? Should we talk about Arya and feel better? Okay.
Who's this girl you keep talking about?
I'm sorry.
Lana?
I know no girl named Arya.
Lana?
She was an orphan. She was 8. She got a bucket of oysters, and then she got an oyster cart, making her way down the canals. And I gotta say this: a lot of I have felt like we're in Bravos, a city that I really wanted to explore, and this was so awesome to get to explore Bravos a little bit more and actually get to walk down the docks, see all the trade. I really appreciated that we got this part, and I feel like I wouldn't have minded even more of this season.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It was nice. It was very nice. I have to say too, Arya is looking pretty.
Yeah, she's Maisie Williams is a pretty girl.
She's amazing all around.
Yeah,
gotta love this actress.
Arya's ballsy though.
Yeah, of course.
That bitch is hard.
Arya's awesome.
So
she is a character to aspire to for all girls.
Like Brienne is a fucking thing to reckon with. Like a pretty, much younger Brienne that's Brienne that's 30 fucking times, 100 times more powerful than she could ever possibly fucking imagine.
Well, that's why I wish that Brienne had been able to develop a relationship with her. She could have been such a good teacher.
Detrimental as far as I'm concerned at this point. She's got a much better teacher in the Faceless Men.
Well, I agree he's a good teacher. It's a different teaching.
Oh yeah.
I would have liked her to have
things to be learned at this point as far as I'm concerned for Arya.
I would just like to I want her to have a strong
Joe, like what Bruce was saying, that Arya's out there selling her clam. I mean clams.
That shit ain't bearded yet, yo.
Blame Bruce. Blame Bruce in the chat. That's his fault. I'm just reading what the audience is saying.
You see how quick she shucked that clam?
Don't bite.
You saw how quick she shucked that clam.
I'll sniff you all out.
The wolf looks angry. We gotta be careful.
Seriously. Little girl.
She'll jump right through the fucking screen.
She has a mature character, but she is a little girl.
I want Bill Sudbury says I want to hear Maisie say "suck my cockles." That would be.
it would fit with the character.
It would. So Arya's telling the story. We get to see more.
And she's got the freshest clams in Bravos.
Oh! Come on.
No, they're tasty.
I know I have baby teeth, but come on.
You can slurp those things down. Take at least 4 of them to fill your belly.
So she finds the first customer for a clam. And she turns left, or she's talking about how she finds the first customer and she turns left down the street, and Jaqen H'ghar hits her and says, "Nope, wrong street. It's Ratman, not Monagor Street," or something like that.
But he's still impressed. He's still impressed with this.
He's impressed, yeah.
This girl.
She's a quick
with a girl.
This servant, Lana, will serve the many-faced god really well. You will go to the harbor and you will see what you have to do. And she goes, What do I have to do?
How can I take a left instead of a right?
Yeah, but how can a man tell a girl what she's supposed to do? She needs to see it for herself.
Yeah.
As we cut to seeing her selling oysters and seeing more of the city, she's walking through the streets, looking and looking. and we see people on the water, we see a pile of loot of one man sitting by the city, the thin man, or the whoever, the harbor master, or whoever he is, the gambling
Captain
man.
calls him
He's
the
the
thin
bookie.
man.
the bookie.
Yeah.
He's
Captain
the
Hagar
thin
calls him
man.
the thin man.
He called himself an old man, but we'll call him the bookie.
The bookie.
Oh, I like that.
And what he's betting on, according to Jakan later, he's betting on
the deaths
he's
of sailors.
like, people can come, and not just the captains that he says that one of these guys was, but people can come and they can place bets with him as to whether or not certain captains are going to get their ship and cargo back through pirates, through treacherous waters, past Volantis.
You know what,
whatever it is.
You know what Arya really needs to do? She needs to take this clam business and get with the cock merchant. And
she can make some good money.
Yeah, the cock merchant and Theon have a lot they could talk about. You know, Reek.
It would make for some interesting advertising slogan.
I think Ramsay ate his fucking sausage or had it stuffed, and he uses it on his little Veronica.
He ate it, or he fed it to the servants, or something sick like that.
Excuse me.
You guys.
Crow's coming back up on me.
You guys in the fucking chat are fucking cracking me up right now. I'm just like, I'm stopping and reading. Bruce is always cracking everybody up. Loa, Ren, Dragon, Automatrix, Steven, all the new people that are in there for Gwen, Pete Live Music. I know John's in there as well. The Joe Nathan Variety Station. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, the chat's amazing. I have to be careful not to start reading it.
Me too.
I get lost in it, and I forget to talk.
Just trying to copy it all down and get it transferred to another screen before it disappears, because it goes so quick. Is like, that's what you see me. I'm like trying to get that shit. Oh,
yeah, I can't do it.
So she's walking through the streets. We see people in the water piles of loot. She sees the gambling man and some guy. And he goes, "Oh, you have a nice clam. Can I have some of your clams?" And he tastes one.
I want to know if it's free.
Actual clams.
Yes, and actual clams. And he tastes one, and it's good. And then some other guy comes, or he's like, "Listen, the journey went through, and you got to take the loot I got. I have 3 children. You have to take this money. Take this loot. Pay for me for this." As the guy just basically says, "No, go fuck yourself." As the girl sees the situation, and he sells him the clams.
This guy had already bet on his own journey, and he said that he bet that he wouldn't make it back, and he did make it back. So he was trying to pay the guy the money or get paid. He was trying to get paid or something.
I think he was, or maybe had some wares to sell.
I think the guy wasn't taking the bet at all.
He wasn't honoring a bet, which ended up, we find out later, is part of his shtick. He was not honoring some sort of financial agreement he had with this dude.
So then we hear the voice of Jaqen H'ghar. The man is a gambler. He wagers if ships will return or not and make it to their destination. Strange wager for the captain. Only way the captain wins if he loses his life.
Yep.
And the girl tells a man that and Arya's like, "Listen, why would he do that? Why would the captain gamble like that?" And he basically says to her, "You've told me you've seen many things in this life. Why do you think?" And she says, "Oh, if the captain dies, then the thin man pays his family a boatload of money from his gambling."
It's always for the family.
And then Jaqen H'ghar goes, "But perhaps the gambler loses the bet, and the destitute or the feels like not paying the destitute wife and his family. They can't do anything. Where can they go for help? And their only recourse is the many-faced God." She says, "You didn't know what I'd see at the docks." He says, "You go to the docks, you watch them, learn as much as you can." And then he hands her a vial of poison. He says, "It's a gift for the thin man." As Arya takes it, and she walks away like a cat that just ate the canary.
Oh, but such a smile.
Do you think she's ready?
Yes.
Do you think she's ready?
I do. Oh, that girl annoys me.
Hey, but if she's not, it's all the same to many-faced God, right?
I want to say, though, this was a very interesting scene. I loved it. The way Jaqen H'ghar, is it Jaqen? Jaqen H'ghar.
Everyone pronounces it different.
Yeah. But he's letting her choose every step of the way what her path will be. She may not have seen this, met this guy. She could have walked away from this guy regardless of what she saw or heard from him. It kind of left it so open for her to kind of choose her first victim, her first...
Absolutely. I do feel like I do feel like the whole thing with the ship captains and everything like that, even trying to explain it back, it's kind of confusing. It doesn't make a lot of sense from that standpoint of, I mean, I know people gamble on anything, and it's a money city that's based around that. So it's a way of taking advantage of people that want their family to get big payouts or whatever reason, but it is a little like when I was taking notes about it, I was even like, well, what's going on here exactly? I had to rewind it a couple of times to understand what the fuck was going on.
She could have missed that whole exchange completely. Like, it left it open for her to see or not see.
I thought he wasn't taking the bet.
Move on, whatever.
Right. I thought the guy was trying to sell goods to that guy, and he was saying, no, I don't want to buy your goods. And then I figured out later it's because he was. It was a little. I just want to say for me, it was a little.
It was quick and obscure. I just got the feeling that somehow this guy was getting cheated by the Thin Man.
Exactly.
So his family was going to starve.
What I think happened was someone else got cheated by this same guy. That's why he sent her down there to see what she sees.
Well, I think it's his pattern. A lot of people are getting cheated by this guy.
Well, I think that there was a guy that came to them and said, hey, I got cheated by this guy.
Yeah.
Hakan Agar sent Arya down there without pretense, said, I can't tell you what you're going to see. I don't know what you're going to see. You tell me what you see. And she came back, and what she had witnessed in my mind was this other captain came to the Thin Man, came to the bookie, and said, I'm going to go on this voyage. I need you to take my money. I'm going to bet that I don't make it.
Yep.
And then the bookie said, he looked at the charter, he looked to see what the voyage was in the papers, and he said, no, that's a bad bet. You're not going to make it. And the captain knew he wasn't going to make it. That's why he was like, no, take the money, because if I don't get back, my employer is not going to pay my family anything because I didn't get back with his goods. He's going to say, fuck my family. So I want to place this bet, and then you pay my family. And the guy was like, no, I'm going to lose that bet. That's a fucking shitty voyage.
Yeah,
get the fuck away from me.
This guy was intentionally basically going on a suicide mission and trying to bet on it.
Right. All in all, though, I think the point of it all was just to show you more what the Faceless Man does for the people of Bravos. That they don't just kill, assassinate kings or assassinate other people. They also help the people that have been wronged in situations like this. I think that was ultimately that was the whole point of it.
It's in some perspective, justice.
Yes.
Exactly. So from there we go to as Arya walks out of there with the vial. And I just want one more thing on Arya. Is she ready? A couple people think. I think she's ready to kill Meryn Trant. That's what I think she's ready to do. I think that
she's down at the docks now. That boat should be arriving any day, right?
I think that poison's going to end up in someone else's cup. That's what
I worry about with her. She's still young. She's still impulsive and emotional. She may think that she's proving herself in one way to Jaqen H'ghar, and it ends up kicking her in the ass. Yeah, I worry about her.
And here's my thing:
I think she's ready.
We had Tyrion here in Volantis, who's made it all the way over to frickin' Marine through Venereal Islands. Venereal Islands. And as he made it through there, in a fucking all the way to there in a fucking rowboat with Jorah, the Tyrell and Trent had to go from King's Landing to Bravos, like in a nice fucking pimped out fucking gorgeous ship, probably because he's on the small council and he's rich as fucking hell from fucking Highgarden, Lord of Highgarden, Highgarden, whatever the fuck it is, the Flower Man. He should already be there by now. I can't believe we haven't seen him already. I can't believe Arya hasn't already off this motherfucker.
A couple people asked, do we think we'll see Needle by the end of the season? Will she use Needle to kill Meryn Trant? Will she kill the Thin Man with the poison, then go get Needle and stab the shit out of Meryn Trant?
Maybe she uses the poison on Meryn Trant instead of fucking the Thin Man.
See, I'm hoping that she does what she's supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Take her time, learn about this guy, and take him out.
Yes, I hope so too.
That's what I want for Arya.
Do
I want her
what
to
Sensei
find her
says
wisdom,
to do.
Her peace, her inner nobody.
Rolane Flo says, thank God no one watches me while I watch the show because I get so involved. We're talking screaming and
I was too. I am with you.
I'm thinking about doing like my reaction
scratching
broadcast
at doors. Oh my goodness.
So speaking of howling wolves, we go to or howling lions and stuck in a corner. We go to Cersei. Qyburn's visiting her, and he goes into the trial will take place soon. The case, the High Sparrow will present the case, and the charges are fornication, incest, treason, and killing King Robert. Oh yeah, and being a Class A bitch. And she says all lies, well, except for that bitch one. Qyburn says, yeah, of course. He says, listen, my fear is that
there are a lot of good bitches.
That's very true. I'm sorry, Pup. He says, my fear is that the faith don't hold evidence in the same way the crown does. In fact, they actually care about the facts, unlike the crown. So he believes that there's that there's only one way out of here, and he also says that he believes that belief is the death of reason. And she says, sorry, you didn't tell me that sooner. And in fairness, have a little bit of self-awareness. I know I'm biting my tongue saying Cersei and self-awareness, but but she should have realized that she's not the kind of person when she's into something. Qyburn's smart enough in some level to be like, I'm not gonna tell her to not do her fucking stupid plan.
She won't hear it anyways, and she might take it as a betrayal and kill you. So
the Qyburn also, the only way he's getting in that room to begin with is if he's going in that room on some pretense of the High Sparrows and of the Sister of Sorrow, Silent Sister, whatever the fuck she is. You know, that's the only way he's getting in the cell anyway. And you know that they're listening through the door. So you know if he wants back in again, he's got to at least say once.
Good point.
You should
confess. Yeah.
You know, as soon as you walked in, she said, of which I'm innocent. And he said, of course, Cersei. And
my queen. He's calling her my queen.
And then 5 minutes later, he's like,
she's not the queen.
But, you know, confess anyway.
I do want to make one point that I'm curious if anyone has sent word to Dorne to Jaime, because she asks any word from Jaime. Does that mean that Jaime's been notified of any of this?
No, if word was sent
notified? How could he be notified?
He's like on a guerrilla style mission that he's been captured. So if word was sent to Dorne, then it was sent to, you know, Dr. Bashir. Yeah. And Dr. Bashir is like, oh, Cersei's in fucking jail, send help. And me like, Jaime, come help us. You're our only hope.
Like, we're having a special meal tonight. It's time for a party in Dorne. Cersei's where? Yes.
But this scene brought up the question for me: what's going on with Franken Mountain?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second.
Hey, he says so on the way out.
Well, things are still. Yeah, the work is still in progress or whatever.
So he also says in this scene that Grandmaster Pycelle has called Kevin Lannister from Casterly Rock that now sits in the small council.
Not Kevin.
He's presiding over the council. She tells him, tell him I want to see him. Qyburn says, I already implored him to, and he will not visit you. She says, what about my son? And the king hasn't taken what's happened to you and Marjorie well. He won't leave his room. He's not eating his lemon pies. He's not even playing with Sir Pounds.
Cersei's untouchable, and Tommen is inconsolable.
Because you did that to him, Cersei. When he wanted to show balls, you told him he had no balls. So you're dealing with.
She neutered her son, and now is mourning his balls.
She castrated him.
Yes, Katie, that's the best thing I've heard. She castrated her son, and now she's mourning his balls. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Mm-hmm. So he says he won't. He won't.
What is it? Qyburn says to her, and she. I wish I could remember the exact quote. He's like, oh, the it's been said that the belief is
the
death of reason.
It's like, I wish you had told me that beforehand. Like, no shit, you wish you you didn't ask anybody beforehand. You die in that cell, you fucking cunt.
She would have executed him if he had tried to question her anyway.
I hope as she drinks that fucking ladled water off the floor, that's all her piss and shit from the corner has seeped out into the middle of the room, and that's what she's fucking tasting. That fucking douchebag.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it's tough.
Knife to the back of her fucking head. Finally, please, Sparrow, do it.
Ass to the back of the head. Woo!
Valerian steel.
Yes, we find out.
Really important. I don't really know what it is right now because I'm just so damn pissed off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's Emily. That's what I am.
Thank you, Emily. So he says,
Good Lord.
I told you guys. I made a ton of Emily sound clips. So he says, you won't see me anymore. She says, I can't stay here, and there's no way out. He says,
good Lord.
He says the only way out is to confess to the High Sparrow, and she goes, "No way, I made him, and I won't kneel before this barefoot commoner."
I won't kneel before Zod.
As the Silent Sister comes in and pushes Qyburn out, he says as he's leaving, the work continues, mentioned to the Franken Mountain stuff, and the Silent Sister comes in and pushes him out. As we go to fucking Reek. Yep, Katie?
I think we need a new name for the Silent Sisters.
I
think chat room, I don't know. Chat room needs to chime in. We need to call the Silent Sisters something other than the Silent Sister.
The Sister Mary
Oh,
Catherine.
good Lord, good Lord, good Lord.
Sisters?
Serious Sisters? That's not bad.
Sadist.
The sadist.
Yeah, and they're not too silent. The fucking
The sadistic
shrieking sisters.
I don't know. Something. We need a new name for the Silent Sisters.
I love Cersei. She's like, yeah, again, she tries the same fucking threat. Thy face, smack! Shut up, bitch.
As Eric
she
said,
tries to buy everybody. She still thinks she can buy everyone. Everyone has a price.
Yeah,
you don't have the cash to pay it, bitch.
Yes.
So borrow from the Iron Bank.
I love when you swear. So let's get to this fucking asshole. Let's get to fucking Reek. Fucking Reek's bringing food to Sansa as she's just waiting for his ass. She's sitting there with this look on her face like, I've been waiting for you all day. And she says, listen, Theon. No, there is no thing, only Zod. There is.
You couldn't help yourself. I know you're like, I shouldn't do it.
You gotta do it.
There is no Dana, only Zul. And there is no Theon, only Reek. And sorry, I was caught between Neil before Zod and Zul, so I said Zod.
Yeah, we know what you meant.
Yeah,
it's because I said the Zod earlier.
We got you.
So she says, "Why didn't you tell me, Reek? Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me what was going on here?"
That's why they're so mad.
And Reek says, I was helping you. You were trying to escape, and there's no escape. Theon tried to escape, and the Master knew. He knew everything. He knows
all.
He hinted at him. He caught a piece. He found Theon Greyjoy. He knew that he was trying to escape, and he cut piece after piece till Theon was gone.
Good.
And what does Sansa say? Oh,
says,
the sweet little girl.
He says, good. If it wasn't for you, I'd still have a family. If I could do what Ramsay did to you right now, I would. Way to go, Sansa. And he said, you're right.
You are right.
He says, you're right. I did everything. I deserved it. I deserved to be Reek. I did terrible things. I turned on Robb, captured Winterfell, killed those boys. And says, because those boys? You mean Brannon? Yes, the show remembers him. Rickon.
Go, Theon. Keep going, Theon.
They were my brother.
Keep going with the truth.
And he goes, no. I'm sorry, those boys. They weren't just boys. What do you mean? And then he backs up. He's like, whoa, forget it. I can't tell you. Tell me. What do you mean? I can't tell you unless I can't tell you.
Tell me now, you motherfucker. Open your fucking mouth and spill the fucking beans, you little bitch.
Why should Brandon Rickon be dead and your stupid ass fucking Reek is alive? And
finally kick my fucking TV. Open your fucking mouth. You fucking coward.
Yes.
He breaks it. He says, fine, Brandon Rickon, I couldn't find them. They were just some farm boys. I killed them and burned them so no one else would know. And Sansa looks at him and goes, didn't? Do you know where they went? Do you know where my brothers went? And Theon goes, no, as Sansa smiles and hope that her brothers are alive. And I got fucking teary-eyed. Like I legitimately lost it a little bit here. I was like, holy shit.
So much.
I felt a deep relief for Sansa. Even
Theon.
No, not really for Theon. Fuck it. I felt a deep relief for Sansa, even though I don't necessarily believe she felt a deep relief that her two brothers were fucking alive. Yeah, and I know she was asking, where are they? Do you know where they went? No. Yeah, 3 brothers.
2.5 in her mind.
Yeah.
3 brothers, yes.
But still, like, I was still kind of like, dude, beat the shit out. I don't believe you. Punch. Like, come on. use that fucking corkscrew on this motherfucker. Fuck him. He don't get to live no more. He's a rat fucking bastard. He went and sold your ass out. On when he turns around, even though he just told you your brothers were alive, you stabbed this motherfucker in the back of the head with whatever tool it was you picked up last fucking
I had to
week.
get drunk.
Use it on Theon. You can have plenty of fucking revenge on that motherfucking Ramsay later. Take a few more fucking licks. You're the one that fucking married him. You should have seen this coming. You were already fucking engaged to that other fucking slimy prince.
She knows that she can still use Theon. Theon, especially after this scene. Theon is still in there.
Joe.
She can still use him, as she just did to get that information.
Joe, this one.
Theon is still there.
I had to get drunk as hell last night. I gotta be honest with you. After that episode, I'm basically ranting here, but I'm gonna get to a point. Just bear with me.
So,
oh my God, Emily, I am bearing with you.
so here we go to that was amazing. That was real. That I freaked the fuck out. I've been giving Theon a lot of shit. We've been giving a lot of shit. I still think Sansa should have stabbed. Thanks for the information. That's all I really needed from you. Stab him in the back of the head with
Exactly. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Exactly like that, Phil. Thank you, motherfucker.
That's why we're friends. That's why we're friends.
Corkscrew.
I want that, but it's not the best move yet. He can't die yet.
Katie, that's why you're smarter than us.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
dude,
maybe.
I'm a wolf. Come on. I'm the one that's going to be ripping throats out.
Okay.
You gotta think
keep Theon alive a little bit longer. Think this through a little bit. Don't act on. Okay. I'm a bit of a hothead at times. I try not to be.
Joe, read the chat right now. Joe, read the chat right now.
Joey Coco Diaz. I'm not sure who that is. Who's Joey Coco Diaz? Oh my God, I'm scared.
So we go over to Roose, who's talking shit about Stannis' army, saying he only really has 6,000 men, and they aren't prepared for siege. They have horsemen mounted. Oh, wait a second, we got a fight going on in between the wolves.
Oh, you're licking my ear. Oh,
it kisses. He's mine.
Good puppy. They bonded. These two bonded. This wolf and this man. So we go to Roose, he's talking shit about Stannis' army. He's like, oh, most of his men are on horseback, and how hard can their horses jump? They can't get over our walls. We built Winterfell, and they're stuck in the snow. So all we really need to do is wait behind this wall while all their shit fall apart. It's gonna be simple. They'll implode. There'll be people will ditch. They'll be intrigued. They'll kill each other. The whole thing will implode. But Ramsay's not happy. Ramsay doesn't like this.
Excuse me.
Not at all.
Ramsay does not like it. Ramsay's
an impulsive boy.
He is. And
young warrior with no wisdom.
And Ramsay is.
All right, look. These people are crazy. I got to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Ramsay's a bit crazy.
He is. This is what he's trying to be, listen to me, Dad. You'll know what I'm about to, I'll save the shit. I'll do it. We got to show the North that we're the fucking Ramses and this shit is ours. Just let me go in there. I'll do this, style. I'll sneak in. We'll take them out. We'll do it, man. Trust me, Dad. I got this shit. Come on. Fucking, yeah. Who has he had to deal with so far? Theon fucking Greyjoy.
Yeah.
No. It's not like he outwitted a fucking master fucking genius and thwarted his Winterfell plans.
What was that, Katie?
Outwitted fucking Theon.
I keep wit because Roose, for all his sadistic issues, he's a practical, reasonable man.
Yep.
He is a strategist. And I just keep waiting for Ramsay to do a huge fuck up.
This reminds me of an old joke. Bear with me. Two bulls sitting on top of a hill, and one's the dad bull, sitting there just chilling, eating some grass, and the son bull says, "Hey, Dad, look down there. See all those cows?" Dad bull says, "Yeah, I see all those cows, yo." Son bull says, "Yo, why don't we run down there and we go fuck a cow?" And Dad bull says, "No, son, we're not going to do that. We are gonna walk down there, and we are gonna fuck them all. That's the difference between Ramsay and Roose. Roose says, no, we're not gonna do anything. We ain't gonna go out and attack them. This fucking southern-born bastard is gonna freeze and die in the snow, and that's how we will show them that we are fucking northerners.
Absolutely.
And you don't fuck with the northerners.
Let's jump in the chat for a second. Scout to go to says, yes, let's let Ramsay go with 20 other idiots. He won't come back. Sounds good to me.
Yes, me too. I'm with you.
How can this succeed?
See, it says, Theon's always been a man with no country due to others' whims and desires and rules. I sympathize with his plight, and he just wanted a chance to be something. Very
yes.
We got a lot of...
but how you want a chance to be something, but how you go about becoming that something is completely what makes character. He chose a pretty shitty fucking way to do it. Let's betray my fucking, supposed best friend, even though he's my captor's son. He's still my best friend.
In fairness,
he had a foundation of such
thievery and suckness.
In fairness,
Ironborn. He was trying to live up
when we were in the whole point with his father and stuff, and Balon didn't really handle the situation right. He could have been happier to see Theon and treated him with a little bit more.
Yeah. Theon is absolutely responsible for his current and recent past behavior.
And his
he had a fucked up foundation. It was kind of predictable.
A couple other people, or someone asked in the chat about the others thing, and someone did say the reason why they strayed away from calling them the others on this TV show was because of Lost. I actually have read that because they didn't want to confuse things.
And here's the thing: we have the whites. For anybody who's confused out there about why things are different, there's two different groups that are kind of attacking. There's the upper echelon, which are the whites. These are, or are they the other? They're the others.
Yeah, I've been confused by this.
They're the whites of the others, and then there's. I forget. It's been so fucking long, and it's easy to confuse. I think the others are the crowned, ones with the big spears, and just the whites. Yeah, the White Walkers are them.
Or do they all have
blue eyes are the other dead ones.
I don't know.
It's one or the other, but there's two different classes. There's the risen dead, as we'll see, and then there's the fucking.
I'm so confused.
What is going on?
I'm not confused. The zombie people, those are the whites. Those are the reanimated dead. Okay. And then the guys with the blue eyes and the dudes that were hanging out on the wall, the one that Jon killed and the one that Sam killed, that's a White Walker.
Oh, that's the others. The others are the living dead.
Do White Walker equal other?
Yes, I believe so.
At some point?
I believe so. I think it's just a different. No, it's just a different name. It's the name they choose not to call them others on the show for
not confuse the rest of us who are now confused because we don't remember because George hasn't put out a book in so fucking long.
It's coming out. Anyways, so basically let's
hold on.
What did the babies become?
What was that?
You see them. You saw
the babies become White Walkers. The babies become White Walkers.
So they grow up to
because their eyes turn blue. They grow up to be in the elite White Walker force, I believe.
Oh,
but the other things had blue eyes. That bitch, that girl that came back alive,
I'm so confused.
She got blue-eyed.
Let's read what the chat room says. Russ Fan says, Fire kills the Whites, book and show. Dragon Class Obsidian kills the White Walkers, book and show. Valyrian Steel killing White Walkers, not yet confirmed in the books. Stacey E says, others are White Walkers, Whites are minions. White Walkers are like necromancers, and the reanimated soldiers are their minions. Rolaren says, I'm yelling at the screen, don't kill Benjen Stark, John. Lola says, zombies.
Oh, do you think so? I don't think so. I don't think that was Benjen. Maybe they needed a Stark. Maybe it was.
That would be interesting.
That was the Stark that finally got to steal.
I forgot about Benjen.
Let's keep in the chat. Lola says zombies are zombies, but the master zombies are the I'm sorry, but the master zombies are amazing. Bill says, yes, the White Walkers are called others in the books. Dukronk says, white is the white and the White Walkers to be racist. Seaman says, you all think Benjen is a White Walker or the Walker King? Possibly. Atticus Badman says, yes, White Walkers are changing babies into walkers. Whites are just dead humans, horses, spiders, horses, etc. So thank you guys so much. for all the information, as Joe hiccuped over there is off screen. So
yeah, Joe did it.
Yeah, that was Joe hiccuping for anyone listening to the audio cast. I just want to make that clear. Trust me, I'll take full credit when it's me. So so let's get off Ramsay. So as we said,
Wait a minute, if that's impressive to people.
That is impressive.
That's
So Ramsay takes 20 good men to go die. So we go to Tyrion and Dany having some wine, and she asks him, "So have you decided, am I worthy of your service yet? Have you decided?" And he goes, "Are you decided if you're going to kill me?" She says, "Well, it is the safest option." As Tyrion digs in, "I see why you feel that way. That's what your father would have done." Ooh. But she shoots right back, "Well, what do your father would have done?" And Tyrion pauses for a second and says, "Well, my father sentenced me for a public sentence to death, and I think his stance is clear in what he would do to me." And she asks, "Is that why you killed him?" And Tyrion says, "One day, with lots more wine, I will tell you what my father did to make me want to kill him." She says, "Listen, I know who my father was. I had that talk with Barristan at the beginning of the season. I know what he did. I know the Mad King, and I know his name." Tyrion says, "We sit here, two terrible children with two terrible fathers." And Dany's like, "Wait, I'm not a terrible child. What are you talking about? I'm awesome. I've
heard about you."
Yeah, and he goes, "Listen, I've heard stories. We've listen. I was listening to this girl, Emily, that was talking about Dany and
I had to get drunk as
yeah, and he was talking about
Okay, why? Okay, good. So you're gonna come in and rule my ass and burn my ass alive and let me applaud that. Yes, I certainly want to serve you, Miss Dragon Queen. Are you crazy?
Miss Dragon Queen.
Are you crazy?
Exactly.
Good Lord.
Thank you,
good
Emily.
Lord, good Lord.
Don't know what the hell she's doing.
She doesn't.
Big red.
Oh, that's why she
They don't give a damn
so
about
bad.
her. Maybe just gonna turn around. But right now, they just flying around. The two young ones, the Syrian and Rachel, all down there locked up. Yes, they gonna flying around.
But seriously, yeah, I've heard stories from Emily that you suck, Daenerys, and we've heard a lot of evidence to back this up.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes again right back. "Why'd you travel halfway across the world to see me if I'm so terrible?" And he said, "To see if you were the right kind of terrible, which is the kind that
terrible.
Are you the kind that can prevent your people from being worse than you?" And she says, I opened the fighting pits and I'm marrying someone to help the cause."
You reinstated slavery, you stupid fuck.
And he also dates back. "Listen,
on two different fronts. On one, sell yourself into slavery for a shilling for a year. Okay, great. The fuck do I want with money? Once you get sold into slavery, you get your fucking money taken away from you by your fucking slave master. And then on two, you open the fucking fighting pits. You have slaves being beaten and told to fight or be forced to fight in front of you, and a dwarf running out in chains in front of you, and you don't ask, why is this man in chains? Who put this guy in chains? You like. Really, Dany? Really?
She's the bury the head in the sand kind of queen.
Yeah,
But Tyrion says,
"I'm awesome, right? I'm awesome, right, Joe? Joe, I don't have any faults, right? I'm awesome, right?"
She has no idea what she's doing. She needs a guide.
Complete fucking asshole.
I wish that she had been able to meet Aemon.
Hippo cunt is more crit. More like it.
No, she needed to meet Aemon. She needed to have some counsel from Aemon. She's had no good counsel. She's just fucking riding on a wave of queenship. Yep. She has no idea what she's doing. She's had no good counsel. Tyrion told the sad story, and that's her lessons in life that she is using as a foundation for her rulership.
I also think it's very interesting, though, that when he calls her on, or she says, "Listen, I married someone to help the situation. I'm sacrificing my own rule to marry into a king." He says, "Yeah, my sister did that too, and then she eventually killed that king." Her response to that is that she hopes that perhaps it won't come to that. Like that's the likely scenario that's gonna happen.
She sees it. She's all like, "Yeah, I might kill my husband too."
Yeah, that's all right. That though.
Yeah, he did.
But I saw he was impressed by that. I think she's reading him just as much as he's reading her.
Oh, way more. He's reading her way. She is not a people reader. She's fucking blind.
Well, she is. She's just not wise and old yet. I mean, not to say that Tyrion's old.
She is not a poker player. I think
she's a potential.
We'd all take her money. Big Larry, what's his name? Big Kev. Big Kev would have fucking treasuries.
That's
empty.
why she needs guidance, because she's Tom Cruise to what's
Goose?
that movie?
Goose?
That pool movie.
Oh,
No, with Paul Newman.
The Color of Money. Color of Money.
You Werewolves of Thunder.
Fast Eddie. Eddie
yeah.
Paulson is who you're thinking of the name. Paul Newman's character is Fast Eddie.
It was because of the song.
Good call.
Or you could say Woody Harrelson in Kingpin. Munson. He was Munson to. Well, anyways, so
Is there a song in there?
She hopes it won't come to. He says she hopes it won't come to killing him, and he looks and smiles and says, "It's not impossible that Varys was right about you." And she says, "Varys, the spy master, he was trying to kill me, and he tried to kill me for 20 years." Tyrion says, "The main reason you weren't killed in the crypt was because of Varys. He's the one man I trust, while him and my brother." And she goes, "Your brother, the one that killed my dad?" And he puts down the wine. He's like, "Yep." And she goes, "Well, maybe I'll kill you after all."
That's fine. It's your prerogative as a queen. Whatever.
And he says, "Listen,
I'm not gonna beg for my life. You can
Figured
kill me
I'd
if
be
you
dead
want.
by
I'm
now
fucking,
anyway."
You know, right? Like, come on.
I gave up on
stop with the fucking threats and start fucking talking like a person. You know, like what
the
fuck?
Euthanize me or adopt me out, but stop threatening me.
Like your threats mean nothing. My sister was Cersei. My father was Tywin. He fucked both my wives, raped one, had one of them like chain ran through his fucking army. Like your threats mean nothing, sweetheart. I've
been there, done
Catelyn
that,
Stark and her
worse.
Crazy fucking sister had me fucking locked up. Your shit means nothing. Stop it with your fucking threats already.
So he says, "I gave up on life, but because Varys said you were worth it, I gave it a chance. And at least if you're going to chop my head off, life was interesting." She says, "You're not going to be murdered." And listen, then she takes away his wine and says, "Listen, you'll advise me as long as you can speak in complete sentences."
I'm not going to kill you, and you advise me. So don't take my wine. I told you, once you made up your mind you weren't going to kill me, I'd tell you how I killed my father, and you needed to ply me with much fucking wine. So give that cup back, and let's tell stories.
Now, Bruce has a really important question. When Dany has her period, is that the blood of the dragon? Dun-dun-dun. No, sorry, that was a good one.
Well, it's a good question.
And I'm not entirely joking. He said,
that's valid?
He asks her what she wants, and she says, "I want the Iron Throne." And he says, "Listen, you should probably want something else." And she goes, "Listen, if I wanted a fool, I would have got a real fool." And he goes, "I'm not entirely joking. There's more to the world than Westeros, and this is where you belong. You can do the most good." She goes, "Listen, I've been here long enough. This is not my home, and I want to go home." He goes, "Okay, let's play the what if game. If you go home, who supports you?" She says, "The common people." He says, "Cool." None of the common people here support you. So, but none of them share your blood. The Starks are gone. The Baratheons, Stannis won't back you. The Lannisters are weak and they're a big mess. The Tyrells, maybe the Tyrells, but what the hell's going to happen? And this is where we get our wheel speak. Tyrion goes, Tyrion goes, "Many people have tried to stop the wheel." She goes, "I'm not going to stop the wheel. I'm going to break it."
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It's her eyes aren't on, "I'm going to own these cities or rule these cities. These what were once free cities, I'm going to conquer and like bend to my will and actually take away the well, they're not free because they're half slaves. But anyway, whatever. She's going to take these cities and take those cities. That's what she wants. It doesn't have to be these or those, one or the other. The big picture is she's going to rule the fucking world. Anything she's done since the start is null and void if she turns her back when she gets to Westeros, and it's all for naught. All the blood spilled.
Well, she would be the failed queen of
the free cities, right?
So
and that would indeed then say to the people of Westeros, why would we listen to her if she couldn't even conquer the free fucking cities?
Joe C. Meenan has an important question, and I'm going to address this to you. So, am I the only one who's annoyed with how much this hoe Dany is fucking opposed to making good decisions?
No, you're not.
That's why we need Tyrion.
That is exactly why they have set this up for her to be the not the very moral, very righteous kind of girl, but she is still a young girl.
Mike
She
Jones
was thrown into this.
She
mission
has
with
the
Drogo and as
intention.
queen
She has
of
no
Khaleesi.
idea how to execute.
Now, Mike Jones wants to break the wheel on Danny's mouth. Gwen says, or put a Tokar on. Lola says, 1-1, make me, we'll come zombie talk. I'm so over Danny. Yeah, we'll get to the zombie talk. Steven says, Danny for downtown, break that wheel. Russ says, remember that Tyrion has met Jon in the first season of the books. He could be a conduit between Jon and Danny. Stacey says, so the Ice Dragons are on the White Walker side, meaning the fight between Ice and Dragons confusing because the rumor of the king of the others is a Stark. A very, very interesting. And I do want to say, not too much spoilers because we haven't got there. It is worth mentioning that the Game of Thrones Telltale game, which does at least have some connection with the HBO series, last chapter of the book is called The Ice Dragon. So there has been mention this year about Ice Dragons. I'm not saying we're definitely going to get them, but there's been a lot of talk about
I
Ice.
thought for a moment we were getting them in this episode.
It's also worth
I
it
almost
to
thought
mention
so too, Katie.
that
What was
the time period in which the Telltale game is taking place is actually a little bit before,
Yes.
or at least it started at the Red Wedding.
Yeah,
So
I don't want
we're
to
a little bit back in time.
Exactly. I'm sorry I brought it up. I don't want to talk too much about that.
Yeah, it's loosely tied, but.
So as we go to the fighting pits, guy, as Jorah is going back to him, he says, listen, whoever wins this fight, you said whoever won that fight could fight in the big tournament in front of the queen. And I won. I want to get into the pit and won. How much could you sell me for if I won the big battle? And he asked him why he came back. And basically, I want to fight in front of the queen. Let me fight for her and I'll belong to you.
What is his goal? What is he trying to do?
Now that he wants to now that we know he's trying again to get in front of the queen, he's trying to force himself upon her. She has made it very clear to this fucking prick, I don't want to see you. I don't want you around. You're not welcome here. The more he's at this point, he's a fucking creepy stalker. He's hiding in the shadows at night outside her fucking bed and smoking cigarettes.
What was that?
She'll fucking take her blouse off.
What are you gonna say?
He is going to close down the fighting pits by infecting them all with grayscale.
Ooh.
That's a possibility. Maybe he's gonna fucking grayscale bomb her ass. Fuck you, bitch. Scored me once, all right. Scored me twice. I'm gonna kill you. Yeah. And I love you so much that I will take you with me to the afterlife where we can finally be together.
I don't think he's gonna do that.
Oh yeah, well, you don't know men.
Well,
you don't
know this man. I mean, that man.
The stalker male mind, Kate. You're a reasonable wolf over there. Guys can get pretty crazy at times.
Women can too. I'll say, like, this level of fucking he's watched her kind of grow up. No, like, am I wrong about that? Like, he's been around at least since she was pretty young.
It was implied.
Watching, spying. That's kind of what was implied.
She was only supposed to be like 13, 14 when she married Drogo, anyway, right?
Well, I think in the series, maybe 15 or 16.
I just want to say one thing. I don't want to dwell on stuff like this, but I gotta say we're dwelling around 135, 140-ish. So everyone, thank you so much for help spreading the word. All the shares and likes and subscribing to the channel. All that stuff helps so much to get more and more people in the chat room, more and more people watching the video. The only reason why is thanks to you guys. Really, thank you so fucking much for making this so much fun. I'm gonna miss. Yeah. I can't believe we only have 2 more. Oh, let's not talk about that yet. Let's not talk about the fact that there's only 2 more fucking episodes.
I was asking if this was the finale because this was quite climactic.
This was great. This was amazing. The last 2 episodes, last week's episode and this week's episode, it's getting so great, and I have so much high expectations for these last 2 episodes. It's gonna be fucking insane. I don't want to get into too much speculation, but it's gonna be fucking insane. So
by the end of this episode, my tongue was on the ground and I was panting like a fool.
Oh my fucking lord,
Puma! I was like a fucking holy shit. So let's get back to where we go. I think our last time we touch in with let's go to the chat room for a second. Claudia Jacobson says Jorah could be an asset to Dany and kill our enemies with grayscale. Rock Biologist says it's been awesomely funny and painful scene. Gwen says Tyrion better watch his mouth around Daenerys. Rock Biologist says you're like a big bear, man, appropriate to House Mormont. Gwen says he's going to say the wrong thing in front of Dario or Grey Worm, meaning Tyrion. Fuzzy Man says this episode was worth 6. After...
I don't think Tyrion's going to respect Dario at all.
Not one little bit.
No.
Not one little bit.
He's going to say a lot of wrong shit to Dario.
Yeah.
This is what's going to get Dario. That, like, I think, okay, good point. Good point. And I'll say this now. I think that moment on the throne when Tyrion and Khaleesi rather are talking, and she says it hasn't come to that yet. Maybe that's a little foreshadow right there. That might not just be like, I think all the rumors about this motherfucker being, head of Sons of the Harpy, she's got my ear. Let's make life hard for this bitch. I can maybe marry her. I'll sweet talk her. I'll charm her. He was one of the head noble houses in this marine city. So, I hope that was foreshadowing. There's nothing I would love more. We do have, here's the thing. We have the prophecy from the warlock in Karth who said she would be betrayed with love. And I know there's no real necessarily love in this relationship with her and her husband, but he is her husband, and that's supposed to be, what marriage is about. And I think we've got it wrong. I don't think the betrayal of love is Jorah. I'm going to say it's fucking Hizdar, and she's going to end up actually executing this motherfucker. And
we can only hope.
I think it's foreshadowing.
Yes.
I really do.
No,
At this point, it's great. At this point, Phil, I'm going to say this. It's great. We've passed everything that anybody has ever fucking read. So I am going to actually finally give predictions and not give a shit if people think it's a spoiler.
Yeah, it's all supposition.
Go fuck yourself because I'm drunk and I say go fuck yourself.
He means go fuck yourself in a really loving way. Like,
In the
I do.
most
I really
loving way.
I do.
So speaking of a
Fuck
scene,
yourself.
speaking of a scene that makes you want to fuck yourself because it's so good to watch, we go back to the water game with thirsty Cersei, and as Cersei.
Yeah, bitch, drink that piss.
Yeah, Cersei's like, listen, I could make you a wealthy woman, a lady of the court, and all this woman just
Still trying to buy people.
Still, no. She goes. She starts with "I'll be the last face." No. She starts with "I could buy you," and she ends with "I'll kill you," and I'll buy you, and I'll kill you.
Or I could make sure you die in the most horrible way possible.
Yep.
I sit here every day imagining hideous ways for you to die. As she dumps out the water.
She is trying all of her old coping skills,
Oh,
and they just do not apply.
Here we go. I want to talk about this because it was so beautiful. And then Cersei gets on her hands and fucking full on. I don't want to talk a lot about it because we talked about it last week enough. She goes full on Oz, like Beecher licking the ground of the water, licking the lick the water up, baby, lick it all up.
Yeah, drink that, and that there's at least one spilled bucket of piss and shit from the corner. If they even gave
there's
her
a nice
bucket.
layer of scum.
Yeah, there's a nice layer from whoever else has been in. They've never cleaned that fucking floor. Drink it. Drink the feces and urine of 100 fucking. I hope you're actually drinking your brother's piss and shit. I hope you're drinking fucking Ned Stark's piss and shit. I hope maybe Jaime Lannister and Oberyn pissed once on the floor for Tyrion in his fucking cell, and I hope you're drinking that right now, you fucking cunt. That's all.
They let Lady Marjorie have an hour with that cell before they put Cersei.
Yeah, she covered it all in poo. She touched her hand in poo and put it everywhere.
Oh,
She deserves every fucking ounce of feces she slurps off that fucking ground.
So let's get into it here. The scene that I appreciate, but the quote unquote I would say somewhat out of place scene of the night. We go to Sam and Gilly for a second, and Sam's and Gilly's
apparently only been a day there. Let me say,
yeah,
it's been like a week or a month everywhere else in the world, but it's been only a day since last week.
I moved slower up north.
He heals slowly.
Yeah, apparently.
We're in a time vortex, and time moves slower up north. It has to do with the cold and the white.
Winter does seem to drag.
Yeah, winter's years long.
Cersei, Automatrix says Cersei doesn't shit. Peter live.
Yeah, she does.
Says maybe we could have a video called Two Lannisters, One Cup.
I will not watch.
One so
yes,
four.
You would have to. So, but it's our job, Katie. You'd have to watch. It would be no reason. So we could. Sam and Gilly asks the same thing we were asking Cersei in the Two Lannisters One Cup video. Does it hurt about the wounds? And he says no. And it's good. It's whatever. And he asks her, is it okay? And she goes, no, I'm fine. I'm a little stressed out. And he goes, no, not about that, about the sex. And And he asked her, "Are you scared?" They go back and forth. "Are you scared?" "Yes, yes, yes." "Oh, me too, a little." And it's a cute little scene. It's a cute scene between the two of them.
Yeah.
And then little boy Ollie knocks on the door and brings in the food. He's doing kind of a nice thing after a couple weeks of just being a dick. He goes, "Listen, I heard what happened, and I'm bringing you some food." And Sam, being cool Sam, is like, "Listen, men brawl from time to time. It's only natural. And you're a good lad, Ollie. Thank you for bringing me food." And Gilly leaves as Ollie gives her the "fuck you, get out of here" look. And he goes, they talk to him. Ollie's got to have a couple questions about Lord Commander going to Hardhome. And all these wildlings killed my mom and dad. They killed the whole village. This, why is he helping them? They slaughter me. This redhead guy that he's walking off with, this Tormund Giantsbane, he's the one that was there at the village while the Thens killed me. He said it was okay. Sam says, "I've seen the Army of the Dead." "No, you haven't." "Not yet." "Oh, you've seen part of the army." "Yeah, I guess he has." Not
You got a sampling.
And he
bit,
says,
A sampling.
no, he has seen them. And when they start marching and when shit goes down, we're gonna need every last man.
Oh yeah.
And he also says, and Ollie asks, "What if we let the wildlings through the gate and they cut all of our throats?" And Sam says, "Sometimes people make choices that look wrong at the time, but they end up being the right thing to do." And I think that's what Jon's doing. And Ollie says, "Do you really believe that?" And Sam says, Don't worry about Jon. He'll be okay. I've worried about him for years, and he always comes back all right." So
But does he?
Does he?
Well, I don't know.
Does he?
Maybe physically.
Not emotionally. No,
He's bruised.
everything
He's
that
got
happens,
some wounds.
he has, and he's leaving this. What we're about to get to, he's leaving this situation with
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I am traumatized and elated. Oh, they did such an amazing job.
Now
oh
we're
my
about
goodness.
to get there. Let's get. Are we ready to get there? Okay. Now, first off, I think a lot of people did predict, because of getting the dragon glass, that we were going to get some sort of White Walker situation. I had no fucking clue it was going to be this, and going to be this fucking amazingly done. This
shit!
Oh my goodness.
I'm not going to say any names but if you do anything that could be similar to a scene like this, if you're making another show that we may or may not talk about, take some notes, motherfuckers. Take some fucking notes. Take the note. Watch this.
Oh my fucking god! You know, for what it's worth, this is probably the best scene with undead I've ever seen in my life. It beats anything that I've ever seen with a zombie in it.
It was
ever.
magical.
It really does. And maybe it's because there has never been anything else really like. Yeah, you might have like old times like Jason versus the Eye, some fucking skeletons came out. There was undead fights.
I was scared
like,
after that fucking
guns
animatronic
oh
arm.
My god, this shit was fucking
yes.
They redeemed everything they did. Okay, I was not a fan of the castle shit with the baby the other season. I wasn't necessarily a fan of the brand shit with the little fucking weird girl who can't throw a baseball. And I wasn't necessarily a fan of that fucking animatronic arm that came out and stabbed that little fucking shit who led Bran up to nowhere. But I will tell you, this shit was fucking magnificent. There was nothing that has been filmed yet with undead that nearly matched the fucking brilliance of this fucking last
step of the way.
20 fucking minutes of anything
and
ever.
Let's not forget the biggest thing that come from this, the fact that Jon was able to kill a White Walker
without dragon glass.
With Valyrian steel. With Valyrian steel.
Oh, he stepped up and gave the best face I've seen in a while.
Yeah,
Kit Harington gave great face.
He did a great job.
He mastered these scenes.
I was very impressed with Kit Harington during that. That was fantastic. I particularly when he fucking starts to run out of the hut at one point and he steps forward and drops that sword. Oh my god, my fucking pants wet.
Joe, someone has a comment for you. I don't know, Joe, says Bill Sotheby. The skeleton fight with Bran, Mira, Jojen, and Hodor.
Knife to the back of your fucking head. Don't finish.
Wait, let me finish. That was pretty boss. End sarcasm. End sarcasm.
That looks really bad. I know a lot of people
Okay,
really
we
like
gotta
it.
talk about. Let's not talk about that. Okay, so let's start this scene. We go to Jon. He's on the boat with Tom and approaching Hardhome. A ton of wildlings are there. They're being a dicks and stuff. As Jon approaches on the docks, Tormund's with there. They head off. As we look around and we look for Eric somewhere in the scene. Where's Eric? Where are you, Eric? You're somewhere in the scene. Tormund says, trust me, Jon Snow. Do you trust me? And Jon says, does that make me a fool? And he says, no, we're fools together. We're in this shit together. And Tormund really stands up for Jon in this situation.
Yeah, he does. He crushes his skull for him.
Yep, they walk. They meet up with the Lord of Bones, who says, it's been a long time. The last time I saw you, this crow was our prisoner. And
did he kill him? Did he kill the Lord of Bones? Or did he just
he
beat him on the back
his skull?
He killed him.
The noise they were making.
No, he's covered in bones.
Yeah,
he's
I don't
covered
care.
In actual bones.
There was smushing and splashing and smashing. No, he killed him.
I didn't think he was. I thought he just kind of knocked him out.
No,
he smashed his skull.
I want to point out.
I'll give it to you. Sure.
The noise.
I'm with you.
I was gonna say
smash skull.
They did an amazing job with the soundtrack.
And if that's the case, I hope they did that because of how the book is. I hope that's a very good scene. If that's a death scene, I would have figured maybe a little bit more gore. But I kind of thought he just knocked him out and then gave him a few extra blows across his back for good measure.
No, I think they were making the point with the sounds that they were making. Every swing he took. I could be wrong, but it just impressed upon me.
He's covered in they call him rattle shirt because
but
his
it was
whole
wet.
armor is
No,
bones.
the noises were wet. He was smashing it.
Now let's hit the chat for a second. Let's hit the chat for a second.
Don't bite me, please.
Let's hit up awesome CGI. I thought Jon was dead for sure. So Scout Steel Saber says I have to rewatch this as soon as this podcast's over. Seriously, Duke Chronic says my dad.
Oh, I am too.
Duke Chronic says my dad's TV is crappy, so I didn't let him watch it on it. So I hooked him up with the 1080 first. How do you get the Dragon Glass? Someone said Dragon Glass or Valyrian Steel equals Dragon Glass.
On Dragonstone, isn't that all Dragon Glass?
That is all Dragon. There's tons of
Stannis, yeah.
It's
volcanic, like obsidian.
It's obsidian. Yeah, it's basically obsidian. From what everything I gather,
there's blood. Renwood says there's blood magic in Valyrian Steel, which could also lead to the fact that dragons being able to kick the fucking piss out of White Walkers because of the red blood type stuff. Lola says the last scene when Jon turns away from the White Walkers in fear and shock, while thousands of whites just watching.
My fucking god!
Oh my goodness! So beautifully done.
Ro was saying I was cursed.
Everyone on that rowboat just still and in awe. They're not even rowing away. They're just sitting there staring.
Thank you so much, Loner Incognito. What's up, Phil? What's up, Joe? Love your rants. Joe and Katie looking good as a wolf tonight. Looking good as a wolf. Bill says, no, the wall magically stops the White Walkers, but the zombies can get through. They brought the bodies through in season 1 when Jon killed the White and tried to kill Mormont. Duke Chronic says, Obsidian is Dragon Glass, yes. Lola says, such a good episode. Sunny Day Tea Factory says, it's a good thing that ice was melted and now into 2 swords. Now we have 2 swords that can kick some ass. Absolutely.
Oh, that's right.
Where is that other sword?
Ooh.
Which one?
Joffrey's sword?
Tommen has it.
Does he have it?
Yeah,
named it?
Yeah. No, he didn't rename it. He kept that stupid fucking name.
Widow's Wail.
And the sword that Jon has, the Mormont sword, that's called Iron Claw. Am I correct in that?
Which was good for a bear and is good for a dire wolf.
Yes. So Tormund says we need to find a quiet place to talk to the elders as everything's in chaos. And he goes, you're not my prisoner. He goes, why aren't you tied up? And the Lord of the Bones says, he goes,
we're allies.
We're allies. Lord of the Bones says, you traitor, you fight for the crows now. I don't fight for the crows, says Tormund. Jon says, we're not here to fight. We're here to talk. And he keeps pushing. The Lord of the Bones keeps pushing Tormund and says, you're doing a lot of talk with your pretty crow, huh? Well, after you're done talking, what do? You suck his cock? Is that what you do? You talk to a cock merchant, you suck his fucking cock? I bet as Tormund, and this just goes to what Katie was saying, just to say that I back up Katie in my notes, I say, Tormund beats this guy to death. And we hear his head crack as he gathers the rest of the others and he says, this is a dead Lord of the Bones, as Jon walks behind him with a little smirk in his face. That's how they do it up here north. So So Jon starts giving a really awesome talk, which I think probably was inspired by some of the tales he's heard from old Nan.
Yeah. And if it is, he killed them. In which I'm going to defer to both of you.
Horse Nation. I'm sorry. Horse Nation says Tommen named his sword "I'm coming, Marjorie."
But wait,
I'm
Mom's
king
back
and I
there.
can't do nothing.
And someone says it's Long Claw, not Iron Claw. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Long Claw.
I'm sorry, everybody. Long Claw.
You know, so I'm going to defer to you two in that he's killed him here, and that's kind of important because that really drives home
Bill
to everybody else who's how important it is that they go and talk at this moment. That they have to hear what Jon has to say.
Yeah.
Bill says the sword's called Two Pump Chump. Tommen's new sword. Stacey says, paging Brienne, we need you at the wall or your sword at least. And Rock Biologist says, yes, it was in fact a fatality. So Ren says maybe if they keep rowing away from the wall, they'll bump into Gendry.
Oh yeah, that
I'll be
guy.
running around somewhere by now. Fucking
He's with Rickon off somewhere frolicking.
PD's live music says, wasn't it hugely stupid of Jon to say he put an arrow in Mance's heart without explaining himself first? That's Stark.
I don't think so.
Nope.
It's so Stark of him to do that, though.
It's very primal.
And
that's
what
the wildlings respect.
Yes,
absolutely. And I also think some of the speech that he tells here is quoting old Nan. So Jon talks.
I don't think he wants them to know that we were burning him alive. The crows and Stannis, we were all burning him alive.
Yeah, now come fight with us.
He doesn't want to have to explain it all. I think what he does, like by letting Tormund get to it, by seeing exactly where Tormund's going to stand after Tormund beats someone to death, Tormund has to kind of step forward and tell the whole story. If it all comes out of Jon's mouth, nobody's really going to believe it. Yeah. So he just says the awful thing that he did, which was actually a very noble thing and an honorable thing.
Yes.
But I am the one that killed. Mance Rayder died. I killed him.
Yep.
I didn't put out the fire and save his life. I put an arrow through his fucking heart.
I give him mercy.
Mega Moose says, when Jon killed the White Walker, it drew the gaze of the Night's King, and he watched Jon even stared at him in the dock. Yeah, he gave him the fuck you, motherfucker.
It seemed like he focused on him and said, that's the leader.
Well, he knew that Jon was. He saw Jon fucking strike one of his brothers down, not some stupid fucking dead zombie that he was about to raise off the fucking.
Yeah.
He raised 10 minutes earlier.
Well,
he knocked one of those motherfucking others.
Those guys were up there on horseback. They were studying.
Yeah.
They were looking at the skill set that these people have because they have so many bodies they can throw at them.
Surveying the battlefield.
Yeah, they can just throw all the bodies they want at these people. Gauge their skill level, who might be in charge, who they might be contending with leader. This is a big test for the dead guys.
Lola says Tommen will shit himself if he's going to see a White Walker. Such a waste of a good Valyrian.
Oh yeah, Tommen's already having a nervous breakdown.
Well, come on, who said that about Sammy? Who said that about Sammy?
I'll take Sam over Tommen in a fight, though. So Jon talks to the elders. He says, "My name's Jon." What was that, Katie?
I was just going to say, Tommen needs a guide, someone who can teach him and guide him through what he needs to do as king and as a man.
A Tyrion,
just like Daenerys. Let's hope Jon.
Let's hope Kevin does that for him. Let's hope let's hope Kevin does that for him. So Jon talks to the elders. He says, "My name's Jon Snow. I'm the Lord Commander, and we're not friends. We're not going to become friends today. It's not about that. It's about survival. It's putting a 700-foot wall behind you and what the fuck's out there." Someone says, "You put the wall out there." Someone that I'm not even going to bother learning her name because she dies by the end of this episode.
I was psyched. They just set up a perfect female warrior. She was strong. She was a leader. She was pretty. She was a fucking hard ass. She spoke her fucking mind, and they fucking murdered her. Oh my god! The only part about her character I was pissed about was she was like, "Oh no, undead children. I can't
Greetings.
fight them.
It was a shock to her.
Please.
It wasn't even
that.
I can't fight. It was just so shocking.
Fuck that. You just got onslaughted by a fucking horde of undead you've been fighting.
There's a reason they
Fuck those
saved
little
the
kids. They looked dead.
There's a reason they
because
saved
they're
the
still
children.
fucking fighters.
Yeah,
Dwarf
and they're
midget
kids
Tyrion
that will
is a
shock
fucking
people
fighter,
even
too.
more. What shocks people
What now?
more
You
than
puppy.
zombies
You
coming
like
at
that?
them?
Huh?
Children
Huh?
zombies.
Huh? I'm afraid
looking
of you.
all
I ain't
innocent
afraid
and
of no
sweet.
puppies, no little
Oh my
children.
goodness, you're not even listening to me.
I ain't listening to you because she should have fucking
You're
killed
a
them. She shouldn't have fucking
man,
done
and
nothing
you
but
need to
kill
start
those little
listening
fuckers.
because I have some
wanted
good
another
points to
One
make.
female
second,
hero.
Joe. Let the wolf talk. Joe, let the wolf talk. Talk.
Oh my god! Holy shit!
So welcome Raven Girl from Spain. Welcome.
Welcome, Raven.
Hey Phil.
I'm
Moving on.
Dontivia Major says, "Hey Phil, did you call it? I call it with the Jon Stark scene or what? If Dany has Tyrion as an advisor, who would be Jon Stark's advisor? I think Sam is a good advisor for Jon Stark.
Yeah, I think Jon Stark is
Jon
good
Snow.
at.
Excuse me.
I think Jon Stark is good at picking and choosing the wisdom from all the shitty people around him.
People in the chat say, Joe, you're yelling at a puppet.
Hey,
She's not a puppet. Not in this world. This is a special world.
Yeah, we're in a magic world. That's not a puppet.
That's
That's
Katie.
That's a living,
is a
direwolf.
changeling warg, like Odo, that motherfucker. Oh, where is it? Behind you somewhere.
Oh no.
Yeah, she is a very special warg,
Mhm.
changeling, fucking weird ass beast.
Okay, so
Beast.
So he basically, John keeps going about the 700-foot wall behind her. The girl says, "You brought that wall up to keep us out," and no, we didn't. We kept on putting. But why do you give a shit if we just die on the other side of the wall? John says, normally you're right. I wouldn't care if you all died. But listen, I don't want you guys to die and come back to life. With the dead that's coming, we can't handle that shit.
Oh, especially after that last scene.
Yeah, we're not in normal times. White Walkers don't give a crap. If you're a wildling, all they give a crap about is
world domination.
And John says, well, we have to defeat this army. And one of the wildlings goes, good luck with that. John takes his bag and he hands it to her, and it's the dragon glass. And he says, listen, I know a man of the Night's Watch that killed a White Walker with us. And they said, did you see it? And he goes, no, I trust the man's story. And one of the wildlings says, I've heard stories of dragon's glass obsidian killing White Walkers as well. John says, come south of the wall of me. I'll give you farmlands. And I knew Mance. He wanted a life for his people. If you swear, we'll get a new beginning. And then they go, where's Mance? How'd he die? I put an arrow through his heart. And they go, oh, we're going to kick your ass. I'm going to send him home with no eyes. As Tormund stands up and says, listen, John, you're too honest. And he tells the details, as we mentioned. We talked about that before.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Exactly. And he showed him mercy. And
only one of them, the Fen, is still like, go fuck yourself. We ain't coming.
Well, he's a Fen. They're obstinate.
I hate Fens.
I like Fens.
Fuck Fens.
They're stubborn, but they do the job. They help.
So John basically plays that. She goes, listen, I can't forge an alliance with the Crows. They killed my family. And John's like, listen, they killed my family too. They killed 50 of my men. What about the children? Think about your own fucking children. Think about the White Walkers that are coming to fuck shit up. You need to help your family. The long night, and this is where he gets into the old Nan shit. The long night's coming, and the dead with them. No clan can stop them. The free folk, the Night's Watch, the Southern Kings can't. But at least if we all work together, we can give the fuckers a fight.
At this point, I'm believing every word old Nan said.
Yep,
Pretty much.
There's not a single fucking false
Every
story.
word.
And that bastard Hodor is half giant.
And is that giant the only giant left?
I
wanted more giants.
I want more giants.
That guy is awesome.
People are telling me, I guess.
Giant, or one of the giants, or the giant that gets killed in the tunnel
A brother.
last season
Yeah.
is the mountain from season 2.
Oh, the actor. Yeah, it's an actor that recurs throughout each season of Game of Thrones. He just plays different parts.
And we're also, I guess the actress that played the Wildling Chieftain, is that right? What people are saying in the chat, that she was in Zombieland?
Oh,
Who was she in Zombieland?
I didn't recognize her, but I was very impressed by her. I was hoping she would stick around.
Who was she in Zombieland?
I don't know. I could be reading the chat wrong. You can look back in the chat. I could be just reading everything wrong. Her IMDb's right there. Someone posted the.
She wasn't the chicken Birdman who was in Zombieland. What's her name?
Anyways, let's go on. So the long night's coming, and we're gonna give these fuckers a fight. She and the rest of them are like, okay, Tormund, you vouch for this man. And he says he's prettier than both my daughters, but he knows how to fight. He's young, but he knows how to lead.
Pretty.
And
I fucking, you know what? I like Tormund.
I do too.
You know, for all his fucking bullying to Jon when he was like getting with fucking Ygritte, you know.
Well, he's a cautious warrior.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't think he ever overstepped any bounds with anyone. He tested boundaries, but he always stayed
except well, he did test the boundaries. Didn't he fuck a bear? Like,
that's a rumor. He said he fucked a bear. But Ygritte says Ygritte said he was making that up. Ygritte said he was making that up.
I don't know.
I believe you. Dude, bears, oh my goodness, especially.
And I forgot to mention a lot, the giant is fucking amazing through this whole scene. And I also feared so many times in the episode that we were just going to introduce the giant to kill him, but no, he made it out of there alive.
We need at least one.
Someone also
need a giant at fucking Castle Black.
Someone also
a giant to prove the point that there is
giants
fucking shit in this
real.
world that is gonna fuck you up in King's Landing if you don't send us fucking armies to fight this shit.
No,
someone also asked if there's female giants. Are there female giants?
Seriously, is he the last giant?
There's got to be more giants than just this guy.
And if there are females, why aren't they there fighting? Because at this
just
point, all hands on deck.
The other giants are at a camp a couple miles up the road.
Yeah, we need those guys. All hands on deck. I want more giants.
Yep.
And I'm wondering, what ship was he getting on?
Russ France.
Yeah, what fucking ship is this fucker getting on?
I think he's just paddling along. I think he's Katie. I think he's just holding on to the side of the ship and paddling along. Russ says Jon was called the Crow's King by the Wildlings. Jon just officially took over Mance's mantle. Automatrix.
Yep.
Yeah,
he got a king title. Someone else called him a king. He didn't call himself a king, and I think that might make him father from my son.
Mega Moose says theory is that the beer is Lady Mormont, her sister. Hodor is actually a giant. That's why he can talk. Bill says 1-1 should be a new recruiter for the Watch. 1-1 is stomping whites. The Horn is supposed to call the Giants. Nobody puts 1-1 in the corner.
I like that. Whoever said that about the bear being Jorah's sister, like I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
maybe like that's good because she's in charge up here on Bear fucking Island.
Yeah, the bear paw looking island.
Right. It's off screen. Whatever.
It looks like
Bill says a ship could possibly hold a giant. Ships can handle a lot of weight.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe you gotta lay down on deck or some shit and not roll over.
Well, I mean, goodness,
like,
but
that's a lot of weight. He's moving around.
Handle...
He's not just like sitting there in the cargo hold like a bunch of fucking crates.
Yeah.
What if you got a piss of shit?
The ships are built to handle cargo and crew. No one mathematically made sense for the giant to climb on. I mean, really, this is not. It's not like shipbuilding and ship sailing isn't a science. There's mathematics that go into it.
He's holding on the size of the fucking mast. What is he gonna do? Stand on deck?
He's holding on.
I mean, do they have giant ships? How many giants are there? Is this a whole culture? Are they a seafaring culture? I'm so curious.
So one of the wildlings says, if I break
talk to your fucking cousins.
Well, we're very elusive.
One of the wildlings says, if I break bread with a crow and my ancestors would spit on me. And the girl wildling says, but who would care? They're dead.
Yeah, she says, me too, but they're dead. So,
but who cares? They're dead. And she goes, I'll never trust a man in black, but I trust Tormund. And if he says you are this way, I'm with you. Mm-hmm. And she says, I'm with Tormund. We'll stay here. At least the Crow King. At least if we stay here, we're dead. But at least with the Crow King, there's hope. So
yeah,
Tormund.
in the end, it's all about the striving for survival.
So, but one of the Thens is like, I don't give a shit about survival. I give a shit about being a fucking
Of course
Then
he
to you
does.
people. This is my enemy. The minute you walk on those ships, they're gonna slit your throat. And he walks out of there as the girl says, "I fucking hate Thens," as they head out to load the ships.
I really loved this character. I was so hoping she got on those fucking ships with them.
Me too.
Telling you.
Otto's
Well, if we're gonna revisit her kids, her daughters, because they made it onto the boats. Maybe.
Auto Matrix
I
says.
just really liked her.
Some Ollie lovers in the future.
Auto
Ollie
Matrix
lovers.
says, "You're right, Katie. The sheer mechanics are mind-boggling."
Seriously, I did like when they panned out to show the ships. I didn't see anything that could compensate for giant weight, and he can only walk out so far. Yeah, he's tall, but
he floats too. He's still gonna have displacement.
But stuff
and
is gonna
lungs
get
and
rough
shit like
out
that.
in the middle of the ocean.
Well, he doesn't have to go far. None of them went
Like,
in the
it's
fucking
the
ocean. None
Bering
of them even went really
Sea.
like ankle deep. So maybe he just walks along shore.
Well, where are they
Swims a
going
little.
anyway?
I
Up
really
the
hate
side of the
it.
ship.
As everyone's saying in the chat, I
Go
really
follow.
hate these fucking Thens, as the girl says. So
Fucking
here
Thens,
we
man.
get to a chunk of them heading, but a bunch of them leaving as they're heading on the ships. Jon says, "How many?" About 5,000. Tormund's like, "I can't count too well." Jon says, "We're leaving too many behind," and Tormund's like, "They'll come eventually if they're hungry or something like that."
Isn't
all the
that foreshadowing?
As
We're
all the
leaving too many behind.
As all the people start getting loaded up on the ship, the little girl and her mom, they say goodbye as they have a weird interaction as they look. I initially thought it meant the little girl was going to die because I was just wondering what was going to happen here, but it ended up being the mom. And they get sort of a hard look. Then we go back to the giants and the giant in Jon's guy. What is Jon's friend's name? I always forget this guy's name. Tell me in the chat.
I can never remember.
Gordy?
His buddy from the. No, it's not. I'm not even going to try to. No, I'm not even going to try to mess it up.
Maverick?
So back to the Giants, and the Giants talking to Jon's guy. He goes, and the Giant in 1-1 translated in goes, "What the fuck are you looking at?" As we start to hear dogs barking. As Jon hears this,
Everybody hears it.
and if I could show you my notes, right now, I wrote in all capital letters, "Oh shit, motherfucker."
Yeah, I think I said exactly that to Katie. Phil.
name is-
I was like, "Oh shit, dogs are howling!"
Guys, thank you in the chat room. His name is Ed. His name is Ed.
They were miles away.
Dolores Ed, right?
Yes.
Dolores Ed.
Thank you. So,
Augie smelled those guys.
and I thought he was
Miles.
dead. I thought Ed was going to be dead too, and I'm so glad he did.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought that house
he
that
was
they were
gonna
sitting in was
die.
outside
The
the
girl
wall
was
or
gonna
something.
live. I really thought that.
So something's coming from the top as we hear the dogs yelling at something. We don't like what's going on here. Everything starts getting tense. We hear the howlings. We hear weird sounds of something's coming. Something's coming. Horses. Shit. Something's at the gate.
And then you start to see all the people start fucking flooding for like all
the
the
gate.
people start panicking and starting running towards the gate. And the Then happens to be standing right there near the gate. Like he heard the dogs howling and he kind of started going forward.
Yep.
He started to see the people off in the distance that didn't fit.
Yeah.
Because there was supposed to be 100,000 soldiers that Stannis had broken up. So the bulk of them, well over 50,000 of them, had flooded off to the here's the wall up here. And well over half of them had flooded to the other side of the wall, just north of it, right at the very tippity top of my map. There's Hardhome, and that's where they were all kind of sitting. And there was at least 20, 30,000. Hardhome can't fit all them inside its walls.
No.
So there was many, many, many
Camping on
wildlings
the
or free folk
perimeter.
outside camping, waiting to find out
Yeah.
what was going on when this started happening. So the Fen sees them all, just kind of starting all these other wildlings
Now-
or free folk
Well,
rushing
and
back.
at this point, you can tell the rumbling, the fog,
Something fucked
the
up is
mist.
happening.
It's all coming from the mountains behind
like-
them.
And I'm saying, is it
It's
the
an ice
spiders the
dragon.
size of homes they were talking about? Is it a fucking avalanche?
I thought it was
Is it
an
the
ice dragon.
undead? Is it the fucking what the fuck is
Now-
going on?
Now, Dragon wants to
Ice-
point out that dogs can smell whites and Terminators.
Oh
apparently.
yeah, absolutely.
Zed is
Good
dead,
uses.
not Ed, as so it said. Atticus says, so well done. The crowd reaction and the cold coming off the mountain, so fucking well done.
Oh,
Even
so
says,
good.
1 foot on each ship. Imagine epic split commercials of Volvo trucks stuck in my head now. Stacy says, so 5,000 wildlings and a giant were saved. It looks like there was a shitload more wildlings that became white.
Oh, so many.
Well, at least
The
20,000.
majority of their force.
Yeah.
They lost so
They
many.
lost thousands and thousands.
Yeah, the dead
10,
army.
20,000.
They
easy.
doubled their numbers.
20, 30,000.
At least. They
So
doubled their numbers.
Plus, whatever didn't go, put it this way, whatever didn't go to Hardhome after Stannis broke up Mance Raider's army last season, whatever didn't go there, aside from Bran and the other little shits, they were all
You have to
what
assume.
fucking came after them.
Yeah.
Everything that was living north now, basically consider it gone.
Yeah.
Except Bran, Hodor, and those in the fucking cave.
we have somebody from San Francisco. Hey, I was trying to comment, but it won't let me. It's all good. I'm watching and I hear great episode. Just 3 days till I see it. By the way, love Katie as a wolf now. Thank you, friend in San Francisco. Thank you so much. And she texted us at our line 781-990-8509. So we see the howling. We hear weird sounds. Something's coming. Horses. There's shit at the gates. There's stuff behind the gates. As something's approaching, we look out. The Fen looks out, as Joe was saying. We see footsteps in the distance. We see screams of as we let's just get to it. There's a fucking army of dead fucking at the gate trying to bust through. As it changes to get out, as all the people try to get on the boats now, as it's like escape time. It's Titanic, everyone escaping, trying to get in the
Titanic, everyone. Shut the gates! Let me in! And it's only seconds. Those gates shut, and it's seconds
Immediately.
until like the screams of "Let me in" stop, and it's silence.
Hugh
And
Chronic
that's
wants
the scariest part
That
of
is
all.
the scariest part of all.
Chronic wants to know who the fuck invited these Thens to the party. Yeah, I agree. Who the fuck invited these Thens to the party?
Well,
So-
they're
Mance
country
Raider.
people, but they're great warriors. I mean, a Fen ended up saving Jon, didn't he? Or I don't know. There was a Fen that was wandering around that saved people.
I think that was the Fen with the axe in the hut. That was the main Fen.
So
yeah,
we
well, he did. Yeah, they're good warriors. I don't know.
So all the people are trying to get out as the boats now and escape through the water. The zombies are bashing in the gate, and we get a real serious fucking situation. Oh, do we have a phone call here? Let's see if we can do this. Hello. Oh, I'm sorry. Our phone call failed. It said I failed. So please try to call back again and leave a voicemail. If you just tried to call us, I will ignore the phone call this time and let you leave a voicemail because unfortunately there is something wrong that we're having like a trouble taking calls and making it so everybody can hear and you guys can hear us. But if you want to call back and leave a voicemail and we'll play it right away, I'll send it right to voicemail. Sorry for our disconnection, which sucked for a second.
Yeah.
I was excited.
I know I was excited. Did you hear that? I got kind of scared for a second. I was like, holy shit, something's rigging. Holy crap. So like that, the zombies are bashing down the gates. Giants are trying to get in, kick some ass with Jon, and Jon's. It's mass hysteria as all the whites are bashing through the gates, and Jon's about to leave, and he bumps into the girl who's like, "Listen, you should leave. You should get out of here. Get on a boat, head back to the wall." And Jon's like, "No, you get to the wall." And
No, you.
no, you.
No, you.
No, you.
No, you.
You get back to the fucking wall.
This is scary shit.
It is some scary shit, but
Yeah, no
Jon,
shit. I'll get on that fucking boat. Peace, bitches.
here we go. I'm gonna let that phone ring. Let's see if it works. Hello, you're on the air. Can you hear me? Can you hear me right now? Oh no, that's me. I hear myself. Can you hear me right now? Hello. Hi, welcome to the show. What's going on?
We can't hear him.
How are you? Yes, they're the ones that that showed up at the party. Absolutely. I agree with you, man. Thank you so much for the call. Unfortunately, yes, absolutely, dude. Talk to you later, buddy. Thank you so much. Nice. We got our first call. Unfortunately,
What is
Joe. Yeah, Joe couldn't hear the call at all, but we did take our first call. It actually worked. At least I could take a call. Yay! Fucking A. Thank you so much for fucking calling. I forgot to get your name, man, but thank you so much for calling. He was asking about the Fens. He was asking if they were the cannibal people.
Yep.
Yes,
they are.
So he says they need knives to the back of the head, kill them all.
Oh,
after they serve their purpose.
Well, yeah, no, because now I think whatever Fens didn't get on the boat, they're dead. So,
unfortunately,
no more knives to the back of the Fen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think anybody in the chat room also could hear the call. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. We're working out technical difficulties, which is hence why we haven't been able to take calls yet. So I'll work on that and make it so we
bad.
Yeah, it's a live show. Some fucked up shit happens sometimes. Sorry, guys.
We gotta start a Kickstarter thing to get some better equipment.
Yeah, get some better equipment eventually. So let's continue here. Jon says he's not leaving. He's gonna help out, and he should be on the boat. Jon says, listen, I need to fight. And she says, we both need to get to the wall. And Jon says, fuck it. I'm leading the charge on these whites. So finally the whites start to get through the gate, and it's a big battle, and it's vicious. It's the army of the dead like you've never seen before.
The closest thing might be like some of the rage infection like movies, or maybe some scenes of World War Z, but
what they were trying to do.
This is everything everybody's been. This is the best fucking undead attack scene that this viewer has ever seen for zombie shit ever.
And it just gets better and better.
It was
better
delicious.
and better.
My fucking eyeballs enjoyed every second of that meal.
Absolutely.
Put on 3 pounds of fucking, oh my fucking God.
Here we go. Can you hear this?
Hey, are the Sins the guys in the wildlings that like
Can you hear that?
people and stuff, the ones that are cannibals? Because if they were the ones that were cannibals, then it's probably a good thing that they were left behind. They probably would have gone through and just like eventually ravaged the north side later by just going around eating a bunch of people and stuff. That would be good.
Yeah, that would
have some scary farms.
Right. And that was basically the call for anyone who missed the audio. Thank you so much for leaving a message too, dude. Really, really cool. I love that we can take calls and get messages and stuff. Fucking awesome. So finally the whites get in it's battle time. It's really fucking awesome. As Joe said, the army of the dead in a battle like never before.
It was brilliant when they locked the gate and there was that like couple of seconds and the Fen went up to the door. The Fen that was so like anti-Jon and all this shit. He walked up to the gate or to the wall, and he kind of peering through the logs that make this wooden wall, and he can't really see anything. All he can see is fog, and he can kind of hear some screams and some sword like bashing and
muted,
very muted. And then like out of nowhere, suddenly axes like start cleaving at this wall, and they're not like just not just like bashing on the other side, like points of their weaponry are actually making it through very quickly. This wall is not going to hold the fucking force that is bearing down upon it. No fucking way. Even if it doesn't just give way under weight, they're gonna fucking hack through it in moments. This shit is coming down.
Who says them Fens eat wolf though too, Katie?
I'm done eating anything they can get their fucking hands on. They're savages.
I'll eat them first.
Be social scientist Cohen says, wow, that ending was so intense. Fucking far out.
Oh, so intense.
Best Game of Thrones ending since Ned lost his fucking head in my mind. Like,
so
better than the wall battle last year. Like this shit was fantastic. My fucking dick was hard as a rock.
Gross, but awesome. So Jon looks up and we see the White Walkers on the mountains on the top, watching the whole battle. As Jon says to somebody, give me the dragon glass. I need the fucking dragon glass. I want to go after those motherfuckers. As he fights his way through and he and as he's fighting through, this is where our giant busts through the house and starts just throwing White Walkers everywhere.
Oh, the chaos going on all this time too. Like, and Jon just like stops mid fucking stride and is staring at this White Walker. I mean, this giant burst through the fucking side of the house.
He was impressive.
With fucking undead crawling all over him. And he's fucking like pulling him off his neck and slamming him on the ground and stepping on him like they're fucking ants. Oh, it's so fucking awesome. What undead scene have you ever seen as a fucking giant? A 15, 16 foot tall fucking giant, 20 foot tall giant running around fucking in the middle of it. Oh my
Let's get to the chat room for a second. Scouts, Bill says they took some budget from the Dorns fight for this shit. Scout says those are some fast ass. Those are some fast ass zombies. None of that Walking Dead slow shit.
Oh no, they were
And Scout would also like to say thanks for the dick update, Joe.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Stacy and Mum to Muses says TMI, Joe. Lois says the White Walker with horns should take over the Iron Throne. He looks like the demon from hell. The Dorn fight used all their budget to rent the actual castle in Spain, says Gwen. Joe, Katie makes the White Walker sound. Vaughn says stop, cock whites. Yeah, that's what he gets. Yeah, he gets all like the giants that just stomp and fucking the whites everywhere.
He's just tossing them and stomping on them. And oh my God, that's so awesome.
It's so good.
I love the giant.
So fucking awesome. That giant shit. I've never seen it like that shit. It was
giant.
Beautiful. It's
that's
seamless.
difficult to do. I've never seen giant
There's only
done
one
well.
scene that took me out for a second. Here, and I'll talk about it quickly. So Jon heads into the hut, and then we see a white figure with the sword coming through the fire. And Jon says, "Give me the glass." As he's with the Then, as the Then goes to try to fight him, and he quickly dies. It's like
steps up. That's what I was talking
about. The Then really
stepped
like in this moment. Everything that Jon said moments earlier or an hour earlier, whenever the fuck it was that they were in that house talking, and this Then threw down some shit and walked out. Everything Jon said back there, this guy lived up to in the moment. He knew exactly everything Jon said was true to the point where he said, "You get the dragon glass." He didn't go for the dragon glass. Nope. He was like, "You go get it." He knew he was going to die. He knew this was not. Ready. This was not the things that were out there at the wall. This was something different. This guy just walked through a fucking flame. He was very different looking.
He kamikaze himself.
And he did. He sacrificed himself to give Jon enough time to get to the fucking glass. But Jon failed.
Now, Stacy says, can I just say, if you need someone to cover your retreat, 1-1 is your first choice and your last choice. So badass.
Oh my goodness, so much.
And then there's just tons of 1-1 love right now. 1-1 couldn't fit on the Iron Throne. Bill Sotheby says, I take back my 1-1 for recruiter comment. He would be the master of arms, make new recruits train against 1-1. Stacey says, seriously though, White Walkers don't swim. Who knew? Renwood says, since the Thens are cannibals, maybe now they can reanimate that they will eat the White Walkers. Atticus says the Thens love it when the cock merchant cart comes around. Fuzzy Man says, Thens pulled a badass last moment. He joined the Night's Watch without the know. Yes. Triggerman says the White Walkers walk in all and cool the fire. Rock Biologist says the Then chieftain redeemed himself. Dragon says 1-1 swung a tree log of fire. That was fucking amazing. PD Live Music says he knows something, Jon Snow. After that fight, he does. Lola says I think there's a blood connection with the First Men and the White Walkers. Bruce says 1-1 comes south of the wall and fucks Ramsay in the ass. Bam! Fucking you guys rule.
Tear that boy's heart.
One of the things I always wondered was the wall doesn't quite go all the way across. There's mountains in the way.
There's
and there's not too much far to like Bear Island. And I always kind of wondered that why this didn't happen, why they didn't just go around the wall, swim around the wall, and what was the wall supposed to do? And it like seeing that they weren't pursued past the shore was actually very, it told us that they don't go in the water, that they're not going to be walking out to the ships under the water. Yeah. And it's either for now or
they're not pulling a Jason versus Manhattan when he like walks from Crystal Lake to Manhattan.
Or the John Leguizamo zombie movie with the black zombie that can use the machine gun and shit and like leads them all underwater.
So Jon heads into the hut where the white figure comes through, and then the Fen stands up and fights, but quickly dies. Jon turns to go get the glass, but gets thrown down and approach him with the sword. Jon dodges the sword slice, but climbs up and tries to get his one sword, picks up a sword, but the sword gets shattered when it hits against the White Walker's sword. So Jon
was visually so amazing.
This was
excellently choreographed.
Awesome.
Jon is hit and falls as silence comes as Jon's been hit, and you get that silent war kind of awesome feel.
He's had all the air knocked out of it. Like it's all had that experience.
As Jon picks up a sword and it's the Valyrian sword, and he walks away, but he's hurt. As the figure comes after,
he runs away.
He runs away. He tries to run away.
He abandons the dragon glass. He doesn't try to get it. He just tries to get the fuck out of the house. And on his way out of the hut, he grabs Ironclaw. He sees Ironclaw and he grabs it, and he's just trying to get the fuck out.
You still can't hear. Like his senses are.
I almost called
Longclaw.
Yeah.
So he grabs Longclaw and he smashes. I almost called Ironclaw again too. So he smashes it, and Jon's able to. And then the White Walker eventually catches up to him because Jon's hurt and he can't quite get away. And it gets over him and he comes at him with the sword, and Jon, just an instinct, goes to defend the sword. Almost somewhat similar to it's somewhat similar to the Jaime moment when Jaime stops the sword with the hand and is like surprised.
We've already seen twice this weapon of the whites of the other there. It goes through every piece of iron, every sword that's been put up to it. Jon put one up, it shattered it. Ironclaw, the Fen put up his axe, it shattered through the whole fucking axe.
Yep.
But not Longclaw, not the Valyrian steel. The Valyrian steel fucking blocks the White Walker's sword, and Jon's like, wait a second, and Jon
strikes him down
and busts him to bits. As he falls down, he's kind of hurt. As we go focus on the rest of the battle, Tormund and Brunette Ygritte are kicking some ass, but the dead are they're too much. They just keep coming, and we finally paused where we see, as Katie talked about this moment before, where we see she kills a bunch of adult White Walkers, but then she looks around, it's a bunch of children White Walkers, or whites, excuse me, whites.
Did we hear that she lost children to them?
No, sure. She was desperate to get her kids onto the boat. She had
but none
daughters,
of them were her kids, so she didn't lose any children, any sons to them.
No, but
I forgot to mention. Someone said in the chat room, like when Jon killed the White Walker with the Valyrian steel, the White Walkers who were amongst them, the Night's King, who were up on the mountain watching this whole thing, kind of gave the fuck look, like what the fuck's this?
Yep. Oh my God! Someone just struck one of us down.
That's not supposed to happen.
That's not supposed to happen. And then the Night's King decides, I'm making my way down there to go deal with this little bitch myself.
Yeah. They thought they waited long enough where everybody had forgotten about Valyrian steel and dragon glass, and they were going to just fucking walk through. But there's Jon and his big fucking claw.
Stacey E says, watch the White Walker's face when Jon blocks his attack. It's fucking priceless. Yeah.
Oh, he is shocked. Yeah.
And
challenged. I think he was a little happy about it too.
Yep. So
he wants a real fight.
So they come and they jump on her and they kill her.
Well, yes, he does, and that's why he showed up where the giant was and not anywhere else. They sent that guy down to deal with the giant, and instead that dude ended up having to deal with Jon. That's what I think happened.
So we see Jon after this moment. That's a good. I like that, Joe. As Jon's like throwing up and he's like, "Fuck the glass. We're all gonna die here." And him and his buddy, they head off as the army and dead just call more and more men. As there's more and more zombies
over the cliff.
That was fucking awesome. Him and Dolores Head just kind of look up over the fucking house that Jon had stumbled out of, and they see the others up there on the top of the cliff, all mounted, looking down at the battle, surveying, and suddenly these
one guy
calls
hordes.
There's one guy, the king of them, I think it was. The hordes of undead start running from behind him and pour off the cliff. And Jon and Ed are just sitting there, kind of stunned. They don't know quite what they're looking at because all these dead kind of hit the ground and stop moving. And so him and Ed kind of give each other a look for a second, and they just fucking, all right. Stun is over and get up off the ground. They're like, oh fuck.
Yep. Oh, I'm literally right. They go up, oh fuck, and they start running, and one starts to run towards the sea too, and he just has a bunch of whites all over him as he just beats the shit out, starts stomping them, and I just wrote fucking giant kicking ass as and this is the one moment, the one little tiny moment that there's a scene where Jon's running with the sea, where it's like, oh, Jon's running in front of a green screen with a CG giant behind. There's only like one moment. It was like one half.
I barely, that didn't even register on me.
I noticed, but it was okay.
It was okay. I agree with you. I noticed it, but it was okay. It was like a green screen moment. It was like, okay.
It was seamless. I was so in shock. I was probably screaming something or just looking at the fucking big log in the giant's
I was
hand.
howling.
I think I was thinking, really?
Yeah.
Isn't that log going to slow him down a little? Shouldn't he just be concentrating on running? Fuck the shit that's...
Scout Dakota says, it's raining undead. Yeah. Pete's Loud Music says, Jon Snow's going to Jon Snow's going to break out some Neo-style bullet time moves next week. Stacey E says, this was the World War Z when the undead jump over the Jerusalem wall. Bill Sotheby's
better. Much better. So much better.
Sotheby's says, this was a lot of references to the number 13 in the books regarding the Night's King. And in season 4, episode 4, we see Craster's baby turning their 13 White Walkers in the room with the Night's King. Tom Osterbrook says the guy did a good job saving a seat for Jon in that boat with all those fuckers trying to escape their lives.
Seriously, nice job. Yes.
What is he doing? Is he
I was
striking down,
expecting that
like,
hooded guy to be something like big and bad.
Scout Dakota says, I'm sorry, Katie. Scout Dakota says, I didn't notice that CG part. I was too busy orgasming.
Yep. Me too. Yep. Oh. Oh
my goodness.
Oh, yes. Oh, baby. It's White Walkers make bad nannies. No more giants, presumably. One giant's better than no giants. You guys in the chat are fucking amazing tonight. Oh, God. Fucking damn it. Cracking me up. So the bad guys, or the White Walker and the Night's King guys, watch from the top as Jon and his group make their way to the sea. As the giants getting in good and kicking some more walkers into the water, slamming them down as he heads out and walks towards the boat to presumably hold on to the side of the boat and float back to the wall.
They were just like little ferrets trying to climb on him, and he just kept whipping them off.
And I wrote sort of the Walking Dead sort of line. The dead own Hardhome now. The dead own this.
He made sure Jon and everybody that was on.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Guys, wait a second, Katie.
Pianist macho. Oh, that dude. That dude.
So they own Hardhome. As they're watching from the sea, the rest of the men are being killed and added to the army of the dead.
Just finished off.
As one man, one white, the Night's King, comes to the edge of the pier and just gives Jon the motherfucking eye. And Jon looks back as the Night's King raises his arms up like, what, bitch? Come fucking back, as he rises all the dead, like Magneto almost, like opening up, like, your body isn't made of all metal, is it? He just gives him one of those looks like Magneto gave to Wolverine in the first X-Men movie, like, fuck you, Jon Snow. And he gives Jon this little fuck you smirk that's evil.
Yeah.
And Jon basically said, fuck you, Cohagen, that's the best man, fuck you, Cohagen. And just
for what it's worth.
That's the end of our episode. Sorry, that's the end of
anybody out there who thought Cersei had the best threat ever last week. Look at my face. It'll be the last one you ever see. No. This motherfucker standing on the shore, and he raises the dead. All those who just died, including that bitch who got eaten by the children. All of them. Their eyes turn bluey, white, whatever, and they get up off the ground, and they all just stand there and look them down. That's the best threat
Here we
ever.
go.
You don't need to speak any words when you raise fucking 20,000 dead people off the ground.
What up, kid?
Ragnar says, I win.
I win.
we go to Split 3 what the chat room has to say. Scout says, watch this bitch. Bill Sotheby's says, Night's King says, come at me, bro. Peter Live Music says, not the stink eye, the reek eye. The fuck you eye says Auto Matrix. Arya says that scene was far out. Yeah, awesome. Skeptical says, yeah, he definitely seen something. Fuzzy Man says, I think he was doing a political move to Jon Snow. They kicked his ass, outnumbered him, but it was a tiny victory, and he was trying to rub that in Jon Snow.
Yeah, it was a battle. It wasn't the war.
Well, he was testing all of them. He was seeing what he could do with the humans.
And here's the thing. Ultimately, Jon is actually the winner in this because there's 5,000 wildlings plus everybody that went with him that was part of the Black, plus all the captains of the boats, plus whatever crew came with those boats. They have all now witnessed the fucking army that just attacked Hardhome.
Someone said in the Dragon just said, and this, guys, we've finally seen it in action. Guys, this is the real threat.
Yes.
Good point, Dragon. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Cersei Skeptical says Cersei who? Cersei boo-hoo says Lunar Incognito. I love that name, Lunar Incognito. Tom says the White Walkers move hella slow through 2 seasons at Craster's Keep. What the fuck are they doing? I think they're gathering their ranks, killing whatever wildlings they have a plan.
They've been moving slow for 10,000 years now.
But I think they've been
biding their time.
Yeah, they've been biding their time. They've been circling the wagon, so to speak, building up their forces. Yeah. So let's get to another voicemail from the lovely Lola from Poland.
Hey, Lola, thank you so much.
So here we go. An army of Craster's sons. Speaking of Lola says the army of Craster's sons. And I do want to also mention, Lola wanted to point out that, because I thought this was funny. Lola says that, now guys, I apologize for my voice. I know I'm sounding like Uncle Fester from the Addams Family. So also I do want to say that Nixt100, who we have to thank so fucking much for the supply of Katie's warging wolf tonight, of gift show. Thank you so much, fucking much.
For the lessons.
Did want to say a couple things. She said, I believe the tool Sansa picked up in the last episode was an owl. Something like that. And she also says, for the first time I've heard this actually, but I wanted to point it out. Dario number 2 is hotter than Fabio Dario number 1. And that guy's ass isn't all that weird, guys. I work let me finish. I've worked in a nursing home, and believe me, I've seen weird ass.
Yeah, no, I've seen old ass.
Yeah.
Old ass gets weird.
I work
just nature.
in a environment where I get to see a lot of ass. And of different types of people, different ages,
asses
and
of many
this.
characters.
And you still think Dario's ass is weird, right?
I gotta say, the countless.
Weird is not bad.
Okay, I don't want to talk 10 minutes about Dario's ass again.
I just want to establish.
There's a whole podcast that we could do about that ass.
Bad.
Yes.
Weird does not mean it's bad.
So let's get to Lola's.
Character.
Let's get to Lola's
ass.
Let's get to Lola's voice message here, guys. So here we go.
Hey guys, it's me, Lola again. I'm really my raspy voice. I know I'm sounding probably like Meister Paisel, but I'm just recovering from a flu. But I'm much better now.
Much nicer.
I was having so much time.
Oh, this little girl, Master Paisel.
Sorry.
She sounds much nicer than Master Paisel.
So much nicer. We love your voice, Lola.
Sorry.
Thrones season 5 till episode 7, and now I just have some random thoughts in my head. Some ideas I wanted to share with you, also questions. I'm gonna start with my Cersei versus Daenerys kind of question. I know how the last episode did end. It did make a lot of people really happy. I know lots of guys are really thrilled that Cersei gonna get some King's Justice. I should say probably Sparrow Justice. And you know what? I know that she's a major villain. She's a bitch. And I don't sympathize with her, but it's really fun to watch her scenes. And I can't say the same about Daenerys. I'm sorry, guys. I think I don't know. She's a pain in the ass, really. Everything with Daenerys just hurts. Even the scenes with the dragons, I really didn't enjoy that quite so much, like Tyrion seeing the dragon. And I know lots of people gonna say, yeah, but she's so young. She has Tyrion now. She gonna learn. She gonna be a better queen. I don't believe that. You really think that she gonna listen to Tyrion? I think Daenerys is on a huge ego trip. That's just
Absolutely, and that came across this week very much in my mind.
But we have so many young people in the Game of Thrones universe. We have Arya, we have Sansa, we have Bronn, we have Shireen, and they all have to survive. Just imagine, guys, give those dragon and give this unsullied army to Arya. You really think she would stay in Marine any day longer? I don't believe that. So my question is basically, who would you like to see killed sooner? Is this Daenerys?
Cersei.
Or is this Cersei?
Cersei.
Oh,
You don't
Cersei.
have to finish that question, Cersei.
But I love.
As annoyed as I am with Dany, she's not an evil person.
Dany
and I gotta
has
say,
potential.
I agree. Her egotism and her, all that shit that you were touching on. This week, especially with the Telltale game drop and the scenes we had with
She was
the
good at the
exception,
Telltale game.
with the exception of the fact that she listened to Tyrion, the shit that was coming out of her mouth, it was all very full of herself.
Oh,
she was drinking her own fucking Kool-Aid. Like, I really felt that.
Yeah.
But I feel like at the same point as realizing she's been drinking her own Kool-Aid, I think she realizes it too, and that's why she kept Tyrion around. She liked the brutal honesty. She liked the way that Tyrion handled her.
Yeah. I think she knows she needs someone.
Yes.
And we
She
have
has yes men around her and betrayers, and she knows she needs someone who can guide her through the next steps of all of this.
So to answer
and
your
clean up
question,
the
Willa,
mess
I
she's
think
made.
most people will say Cersei. And there's
Cersei.
there's a second question too. So here we go.
And my second question gonna be about Jon Snow and Stannis. One thing I didn't really get from the show, I didn't understand one scene. I'm gonna get back to the scene with Peter Baelish and Sansa in the crypt of Winterfell, because they did have this conversation that Stannis is coming to attack Winterfell. And I was assuming, I was like thinking that Stannis has a contact, or he did know of from Peter Baelish that Sansa is around, that she's alive, gonna marry the Bolton guy in Winterfell. But when Stannis was on the wall, he never mentioned any of that. Also, Jon Snow don't shows any concern about his sister.
I don't think.
So my question is, because I know lots of people are thinking, yeah, Jon Snow knows about Sansa, but he can't do nothing because he's a Lord Commander. Yeah, but he could say something to Stannis, guys, like, bring my sister alive or something like that.
I think he doesn't have to say anything to Stannis.
Like, I just want to know if you think that Jon Snow knows something.
That's a good
If he knows that Sansa is alive, do Stannis know that? He has like a priestess. She should know that. She should see that in the fire or something. So you guys, I'm just really
knowing Sansa was alive.
Stannis situation. And see you in the chat. Bye, guys.
Now, I think, thank you so much, Lola. To answer your question from my end, then I'll let Joe and Katie chime in as well. I don't think that Jon knows anything about his sister's whereabouts or anything like that. I'm not even sure if he knows Sansa's alive or Arya's alive. Or no, I think the only person he knows is alive in his family is Bran. And he probably still fears what's up with Bran. I think if he knew that Sansa was there, he would probably freak out and really give a shit about it. I think that would be a scene that we would actually see him finding out that information about about Sansa or about anything about Arya. I think he would care. As for if Stannis knows that, I don't know if he knows that yet, but he'll probably figure it out very soon. Once his scouts kind of scout out the situation, he'll probably be able to figure out.
Yeah,
it's an interesting. Like, why wouldn't Littlefinger in all his machinations kind of reach out to Stannis and say, "Hey, we have a possible wardeness of the North. Step in and save her, and we can take it all." Curious.
Very, very, very possible.
Well, I got a feeling. Here's the thing: Jon doesn't know Sansa's necessarily alive, but he doesn't know that she's dead. Last he heard, she was in King's Landing, married to Tyrion, or had escaped that, or whatever. And here's the thing: once Sansa got married, ravens went out to every fucking place across Westeros saying that Sansa had married Ramsay.
Oh yeah,
One
to
of those
legitimize
places a
his
crow,
rule.
right?
Yes.
One of those places a crow would have went to is King's Landing. It's something that I think Stannis knows. We don't necessarily have to, or Stannis knows at this point
Yeah.
with spies
I
or
don't
with
see how he
crows and all
couldn't
this
know.
shit.
Yeah.
So at least Stannis knows that Sansa's alive and married to Ramsay. And if he hasn't, if he hasn't found out, I think the producers will give us a scene to let us know he knows. But
Yeah.
I think he kind of knows, and I think Jon knows too at this point. And whether or not Jon knows that she's married to Ramsay, I think depends on whether or not he left Castle Black before or after the wedding.
Well,
The timeline
ooh.
shit is a little confusing,
I
especially
don't-
seeing Sam just freshly bruised
Yeah,
this episode
yeah.
too.
I
Now-
don't think Jon knows, because that's something that Stannis could use to
Absolutely.
get Jon to.
I agree with that, Kate. I was actually just going to say that too. Let's touch in the chat room before we close up for tonight. Scout Dakota says Cersei's fun to hate. I thought she was smarter, giving religious zealots that much power was super dumb, considering the
so dumb.
brother fucking and all. Duke Chronic
Yep.
says Jon knows Valyrian steel is effective against White Walker, so he doesn't know nothing. Bruce says,
He knows
Cersei-
one thing now.
Bruce
One
says
thing.
Cersei's shitter bucket is overflowing. Bill says Jon knows nothing except how to kill a fucking White Walker.
Oh.
And Team a Wildling.
Hanjar Sir says Jon doesn't know Sansa's alive or where she is. Tim says, yeah, Danny is a real shit, Cersei. PD's live music says, Phil, you just said Jon Snow knows nothing about Sansa. No pun intended. Arya says,
Yeah.
is the best asset Danny ever had to put some sense.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes,
Bruce says the Starks rise again. Stacy says, oh, wait, I'm sorry. This chat moves so quick sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
Ren Renwood says Joe Cersei is say Beth in the Walking Dead voice. You're gonna miss me so bad when I'm gone, Joe Dirty Locks.
Yes, yeah, no, and that's true. The one thing I can be so happy of in, like, say, a show like The Sopranos, as much as I hated Carmela Soprano, I'm very happy she was around until the very last fucking scene. because
Spoiler alert,
I
yeah.
love hating that
Loved to
fucking
hate
woman
her.
so much that I can't watch anything else she's been in since. I loved Oz. I loved her in Oz. I've seen some of Nurse Jackie. But I can't watch it
She
because I
embodied
still
Carmela.
have venom towards that. And Cersei is getting very close, but she
Yep.
still hasn't reached that yet.
Let's finish in the chat room. Stacey E says Cersei thinks she's a man, but she's constantly trying to prove she's as smart as any ruler. She thinks she's just dumb, not because she's a woman, because she's a spiteful dumb bitch. Yes, absolutely. Kidding, Joe. Fuzzy Man says Jon Snow knows nothing, but everyone, even Danny, needs to know who the fuck Jon Snow is. Cougar Douglas says Patriots suck. Go Seahawks. Just kidding, Joe. Sante Major says Jon Snow knows nothing. Danny knows even less. Cougar Douglas says go Hawk. Love you guys. Kaylana says I was saying zombie fighting long scenes bore me. First half was the best for me. Cersei hating Nurse Ratchet. Fucking first half was great. Stacy
Nurse
says
Ratchet.
147 watching.
The Ratchet sisters.
Triggerman says new Disney film directed by Leonard Nimoy's son or daughter. New 3 White Walkers and a baby. Lola says I did not expect those last 20 minutes today. Holy shit, that was mind blowing.
So mind blowing.
We had 147 watching right now. We've had up to a little, I think 156 was our top tonight. So everybody, thank you so much for all your shares, all your likes. Keep it up. Keep the comments going. With all that stuff, it helps so much to get our videos out here and get even more people in the chat room. We will be back next week.
And if you're watching live right now, don't forget to hit that like button.
With me.
Yep.
Come on, guys.
And if you're we'll be back next week to talk about the second to last episode of this season of Game of Thrones. Holy shit. We'd like to thank again Nix100 for the wonderful gift.
Thank you, Nix.
Of the wolf that will always be making appearance, and we promise the crow will be back next week as well.
She will be back.
We might get both of them next week.
Oh,
Who knows here and there.
who knows?
Everybody, thank you so much. Yes, if you haven't already, as Joe said, please subscribe. Check out issuesprogram.com. You can email me at igotissuesman@gmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter at igotissuesman. Find me on Facebook. Find the audio casts of this on all the audio casting crappy motherfucker, all the happy horse shit. Find Joe on Twitter, Dirty Locks. Kate's always around, Joe, so you can talk to her that way too. So, yes, talk to you guys next week.
Peace.
Go.
Oh my goodness, you get me so wet and sloppy.
What'd you say? You got so.
Oh, she gets me so wet and sloppy.
What kind of show is this? It's not that kind of show. Oh, sorry guys. We just can't go away. We love you too much.
Peace, motherfuckers.
We got issues. We all of us got issues.
Oh, so many issues.
Have a good week, guys.
Peace.
That guy.